Talk Radio starts here. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Okay, I'm going to try to fit it all in today. This broadcast is going to be totally jam-packed with news, information, your calls. Former governor of New Mexico, Gary Johnson's popping in the last 30 minutes, presidential candidate, who's running TV and radio ads everywhere. Every time I turn the radio on, even he's buying ads on this network, on Genesis. I hear it on every Clear Channel station. It's crazy. So I'm going to ask him how all that's going, and will he Ross Perot Rick Perry's clone, also known as Mitt Romney? So we're going to be discussing all of that today. Wow. Last night, I am sitting there watching the debate. Just for some reason, I decided to watch it. I usually read a transcript of the debates because it's such theater. It's so ridiculous. It's so canned that I just read a transcript and then highlights, we play on the show. But I watched the whole thing. And Obama looked totally arrogant and angry that he was being asked questions. My children all thought he was creepy, but they also thought Mitt Romney was creepy. And my wife said he's like a charming vampire. And that's what I've always said. Mitt Romney reminds me of Count Dracula. So in every way, I mean, it's like he could star as a head vampire in any movie. I mean, ask any casting director. Mitt Romney is, he is central casting Count Dracula. Now, that joke aside, within minutes, I tweeted, and you can go to Real Alex Jones, within 5 minutes of the debate starting at 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central, I was saying Obama is flat, Obama is out of gas, Obama is arrogant, and people are like, man, Alex, you never tweeted this much. I was tweeting every minute. I said, we're watching the absolute collapse of Obama if he doesn't come alive here, because the American people on average don't really know about policies. They just go off of how your hair looks and how you act and are you confident. And he couldn't stand Mitt Romney staring at him the whole time because everybody walks around groveling to the president all day. The senator of 4 years ago was confident, but not ultra super totally narcissistic and arrogant. Now everybody saw Obama. Can you imagine if Mitt Romney gets in, how arrogant he'll be in 4 years? So, again, if you go down deeper into my tweets at Real Alex Jones down there from last night, you'll see about 10 I sent out. And the first ones I sent out, I broke down. Yeah, it's more. It's down at the bottom right there. Yeah, go back up. Go back up. It's right there. It just says, keep going up. Here, I'll just punch it up on screen right here. I'll punch it up on screen right here. I'll just do it right here. I'll just go to Twitter right here, Real Alex Jones, and show people. You can punch this screen up. It says, watching the debate now, both men work for the same globalist. That was right as it started. And then a minute later, Obama is in trouble. He looks totally impotent. This is going to be big. Next one. Obama knows that when you raise taxes, it drops revenue. That's the plan. Romney needs to bring up, you didn't build that, if he wants to win, which he basically did. Wow, Romney just told the truth. He said raising taxes lowers revenue. I couldn't believe that. He was actually defending small businesses, too. So both men are puppets. This whole show is to make us think we have a choice. Last tweet tonight, this debate was a game changer for Romney. Too bad it's fake. I sent that out before it was even over. I sent that out the last few minutes of it. And then, I have even mainstream media and even all the liberals are in routed panic right now. Obama burned to the ground last night. He burned to the ground last night. But hey, it doesn't matter because Mitt Romney is run by the same people, and it gets worse. I agree with Sarah Palin. She said, watch them. They're gonna stage something. And you better bet your boots That's in the cards. We'll be right back with the real news, the big news. The worst drought in 50 years continues, and the first 6 months of 2012 marks the hottest half year on record. 78% of the Midwest Corn Belt is in drought conditions. Not only corn, but soy, alfalfa, fruits, vegetables, and wheat are all impacted, raising prices. The cost to feed livestock is forcing farmers and ranchers out of business, blowing up your food prices. The only strategy to counter this is to freeze your food cost at today's prices by getting your own supply of foods from eFoods Direct now. As the price of raw ingredients increases, eFoods will have to raise prices too. Now is the time to get your supply. I recently increased my supply from eFoods Direct because we have all known this was coming. You know about their delicious long-term storable foods. The fact is you can eat it any time to save money today. And because it stores for 25 years, you're locking in today's prices and avoiding the rising food cost. Don't wait. Call 800-409-5633 or go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex. Call 800-409-5633 or efoodsdirect.com/Alex. You can bet your life on eFoods Direct.
For thousands of years, silver has been used as both a medicine and a preservative. But not all silver is equal. SilverSol is an amazing new technology that has been clinically shown to be several hundred times more effective than colloid or ionic silvers. It can destroy thousands of times more pathogens than older silver technology. SilverSol resonates at the same frequency as germicidal light used in labs to kill bacteria and viruses, enabling it to kill without direct contact. SilverSol is a broad-spectrum microbial that creates no resistance and does not harm beneficial bacteria, making it ideal for daily use. It can be used internally as well as topically and is highly effective against viruses, bacteria, molds, and yeasts. With threats like West Nile virus, colds, flus, or any other emergency situation, arm yourself with supernatural silver. SilverSol liquid and gel are perfect for on-the-go emergency preparedness and can provide protection at home, school, or work. Go to supernaturalsilver.com and be prepared for any emergency. Remember the promo code AlexSays for 20% off. That's www.supernaturalsilver.com and like us on Facebook.
Alex Jones here with a very important announcement for truth seekers. We've carried a lot of amazing films and books over the years on the online video bookstore at Infowars.com. And out of all the titles we've carried, one stands out because it is just so chillingly convincing. And that's Dreams from My Real Father by Joel Gilbert, available at Infowars.com. This film exposes the fraud that Obama is like nothing I've seen. If you want to know who Obama's real daddy is, this is the film for you. Don't forget, your purchase supports our broadcast and our growing media network. You'll also find at InfoWarsShop.com None Dare Call a Conspiracy by Gary Allen, the book that woke me up. We're also carrying Behind the Green Mask, You in Agenda 21 by Rosa Corey. This book is coffin nails to the globalist takeover. The Greater Good, the most professional and up-to-date film I've ever seen exposing the scourge that is vaccines. These titles and a lot more are all available at InfoWarsShop.com.
Leading a frontal assault on the lies of the New World Order, it's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us as we kick off another worldwide transmission. It is Thursday, the 4th day of October, 2012. Coming up, a libertarian presidential candidate making big waves, trying to get into the debates and filing lawsuits over that. He is going to be joining us, Gary Johnson, coming up in the last 30 minutes of the third hour today. Obviously, the debate is huge news. I've got several articles here where London and Vegas bookies, who had been 2-1 against Romney, have now basically moved about halfway towards Romney. And the money says that if Obama loses the next debate, they're going to be neck and neck. And then if he loses the next one, Romney is going to surge ahead. Again, the thing is theater. It's two pillars of the New World Order. It's two heads on the same ogre. They've got different ties, but they're still there on the same body. They work for the very same interest. But the globalists have to give us some choice. And there are big political machines of the Democratic and Republican parties who hate each other at many levels, who are battling for the levers of control. Whereas the Republican Party operates kind of as the corporate fascist who well, we're against big government. That's why we promote giant government and corporate welfare. And then it expands out from there with the Democrats, who are also corporate fascists, but pose as socialist communists, who are just racing ahead with authoritarian activity. And then the Republicans kind of act as a placeholder for them. Whenever the Democrats are out of power, well, the Republicans get back in and then just cement all the gains. And every new administration wants all the new powers that the last criminal administration seized on. And so no one ever gives up any of the power. And so the government just gets bigger and bigger and more arrogant and more out of control. Now, I'm going to get to the debate coming up later in the hour. And I'm going to play clips here on air of Romney, of Obama, some of the moments that I thought were the biggest zingers. And then, of course, in the second hour, we will open the phones up for you to give us your take on all of this. But I began tweeting within 3 or 4 minutes of the debate beginning that Obama looked completely beaten. He looked impotent was the word I used on my Twitter account, Real Alex Jones. Twitter.com/Real Alex Jones, for those of you that follow or want to follow us. And I began to send screenshots out of different, shots of both men's faces. Romney was animated, electric, alive, out of the gates, like a champ. He was like Cassius Clay coming out in his debut heavyweight fight and beating the champ. Again, they're puppets. It's a giant show, the greatest show on earth. It's a distraction. It's a diversion. But regardless, it is a game changer now, because it will mean differences in approach if Mitt Romney actually swings the country behind him and the system allows him to win. They may pull out the stops with election fraud. They may engage in an October surprise. Even Sarah Palin said that. We have a video clip of that. Governor Palin said, hey, they're gonna pull some trick. They're going to pull some event. ABC News said Monday there may be an October surprise militarily. Well, I think that October surprise has already started, and that's really our big news today I'm going to be getting to here in a moment. But here are just some of the headlines. So I began tweeting within 3 minutes of seeing Obama. I said, he looks beat. He looks impotent. He looks flat. He is in big trouble. And I saw tweets coming back at me, responses going, hey, man, I thought you were, against both parties. And, hey, man, why don't you shut up? Or, hey, man, why don't you, leave Obama alone? Hey, I'm just calling it like I see it. That's why my job's so easy. I just try to tell the truth and tell what I see. And that's what you get. Does it mean that my perspective is always right? No. But throughout the evening, I sent out, 7, 8, 9 tweets. What is it, 9 tweets? And I said, this is a game changer. Well, that's what they're saying today, and it's not just the Republicans saying it. CNN poll, most watchers say Romney the debate winner. That's CNN. Incumbent debate curse, Barack Obama fails and falls to Mitt Romney. National Journal. Weekly Standard, Romney, the path we're taking is not working. It's time for a new path. Campaign stops. Charles M. Blow from the New York Times. And he goes on to say that Obama absolutely got trounced. Here's another one out of the Hill. Obama can't promise a tougher response to Romney in next debate. Politico, first presidential debate Obama hit with left hook on TV, online. Politico says he was destroyed. Philly student told to lose Romney T-shirt or get out. Told it was a KKK shirt. Kicked out of the school. Told not to wear the Romney shirt. Well, all over the country, you can't wear American flag shirts. In San Francisco or Dallas, Texas, you're thrown out because it's seen as anti-Mexico. You don't have free speech in this country. Michael Moore to Obama. This is Washington Times. This is what happens when you pick John Kerry as your debate coach. Washington Post, Romney goes on offense, forcing Obama to defend record, says that Obama lost. Real Clear Politics has a video clip of this. Chris Matthews freaks out at Obama. What was he doing? Says he lost. Carville says Mitt Romney came with a chainsaw. Romney lands punches against subdued Obama in first debate. Al Gore comes out and says it's the high altitude of Denver is why Obama looked drugged. Californians watch, think Romney won clash with Obama in first debate. That's in big scientific Gallup poll. Rasmussen and ABC all show that he trounced Obama. Video potential worry for Obama campaign. And it just goes on and on. So I'll stop right there. I've got even more stacks of this. So listen, it was obvious within minutes that Barack Obama wasn't suffering from altitude sickness at 10,000 feet in Denver, the mile-high city, or 9,000, whatever it is. I've been to Denver many times. I live here in Texas, you know, where I'm at 1,000 feet above sea level. I've been to Denver many times. I feel great. Now, you get up about 15, 16, 18,000 feet, I feel it. The fact is, both men have not been living in the mountains, so that cancels each other out. Obama is arrogant as hell now. Obama is on a power trip and did not like Mitt Romney radiating aggression at him. Romney went in there like a corporate shark, and I've been around those type of guys that are extremely charismatic, and those corporate guys act real calm and real nice till it's time to get a deal done. And then they will come in and just pound you with energy. And that's what Romney was doing, was just beaming hatred at him with a smile on his face the whole time. And Romney absolutely annihilated Obama. If you want to know what happened, Romney was radiating corporate hatred and power at Obama. And Obama was absolutely hating it and felt cornered, and so was getting into his presidential arrogance. Now you're not going to get that analysis anywhere else. I know people. I know what I saw. Mitt Romney absolutely dominated and cornered him, just like we saw Bill Clinton do to George Herbert Walker Bush. Remember when Clinton would arrogantly even walk into his space and would even glare at him? That's what was going on last night. And people are so primitive and dumbed down in this country, whether you like Obama or not, that all they saw was two chiefs up in front of the tribe at the cave, and Romney was up there physically with his presence dominating Obama, dominating him, and dominating him verbally and calling him out and saying, my sons, I got 5 of them. They tell me something over and over again that isn't true. You stop it. He said, you're a little boy. Stop lying. I mean, he's just absolutely dominating him. And I don't think Obama's going to come back from it unless somebody drugs Romney or something, or unless something happens to Romney. Unless, I mean, it's over. Obama is such a narcissist, and Romney's probably a psychopath, that at least is, well, I'm not going to get into it. The point is that it was amazing to watch if you're into human psychology. Now, that said, I'm getting into this later in the hour and next hour in your calls, the clips, all of it, okay? We're going to have a whole big report on that. That said, as fun as it is with the soap opera that is presidential politics, as fun as it is to focus on the play-by-play like it's an NFL game or an NHL game, as fun as that is, or the World Series of baseball, we can learn from it politically and learn how they manipulate us. But other than that, it pales compared to the October surprise. What do we say in the new magazine, the October issue? October surprise, war, question mark. Well, as I've told you, and there's a big Kurt Nemo, Alex Jones article that we wrote together this morning. It's the top story at Infowars.com right now. War with Iran started 5 years ago. We have all the proof. Now it's leading up to open military confrontation. And Turkey has now started shelling yesterday into today, Syria, and the whole thing is getting ready to go sky high. unless politically we do something. And it doesn't look like the establishment is going to stop what's happening. So you notice the economy's melting down as they get ready to flare up this big regional war that many analysts say could lead to World War III. The war already started, folks. We'll be back. The worst drought in 50 years continues, and the first 6 months of 2012 marks the hottest half year on record. 78% of the Midwest corn belt is in drought conditions. Not only corn, but soy, alfalfa, fruits, vegetables, and wheat are all impacted, raising prices. The cost to feed livestock is forcing farmers and ranchers out of business, blowing up your food prices. The only strategy to counter this is to freeze your food cost at today's prices by getting your own supply of foods from eFoods Direct now. As the price of raw ingredients increases, eFoods will have to raise prices too. Now is the time to get your supply. I recently increased my supply from eFoods Direct because we have all known this was coming. You know about their delicious long-term storable foods. The fact is you can eat it any time to save money today. And because it stores for 25 years, you're locking in today's prices and avoiding the rising food cost. Don't wait. Call 800-409-5633 or go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex. Call 800-409-5633 or efoodsdirect.com/Alex. You can bet your life on eFoods Direct.
Would it save you time to get the best quality water filters and the best quality storable foods from one company? You bet it would, and now you can at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. Big Berkey water filter products and great tasting, long-lasting, storable Wise foods are both now available on one website, BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. Wise foods, ready-to-eat meals are packed in airtight nitrogen pouches and come with a 25-year shelf life. Big Berkey water filters are powerful enough to purify treated, untreated, or even stagnant pond water. Combine Berkey water filters with Wise foods for an unbeatable preparedness combination. Get free shipping on every order over $50. And GCN listeners receive 5% off all ceramic filter systems. Visit BerkeyWaterFilters.com or call 877-99-BERKEY. That's 877-99-BERKEY. Or go to BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com.
HempUSA.org brings you pure camu-berry powder. This revolutionary powder contains 50 times the vitamin C of an orange, mixes with any juice or liquid, has 227 servings per container, and is made from naturally grown camu berries, not chemically produced in a laboratory. Order camu-berry powder today. Call 908-691-2608 or visit HempUSA.org and see what our powder, seeds, and oil can do for you.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237.
You store guns, ammo, and food and water, but do you store peace of mind when it comes to your firearms? Now you can with Duracoat. The last thing anyone needs is a firearm that won't work when you need it most. Improve the factory finish and Duracoat your firearms once for a lifetime of protection against rust and corrosion. And Duracoat also protects against water, salt water, mud, grime, or whatever nature throws at you. The Duracoat Shake and Spray Finishing Kit has everything you need to finish a complete firearm for just $34.95. No need for an airbrush or other spray equipment. Just degrease, then spray on Duracoat and let dry for a lifetime of protection. Duracoat is the simplest and most user-friendly firearm finish you can buy. Use Duracoat on knives, camping equipment, or anything metal, plastic, or wood you want to protect from the elements. Call 800-830-6677 or visit Duracoat.net. Spelled Duracoat.net. Duracoat, the finest firearm finish on the planet.
The globalist CIA puppet Barack Obama meets the corporate vampire, the charming vampire Count Romney. And Count Romney, well, basically, like Dracula says to Van Helsing, come here, Van Helsing. And that is basically what happened to Obama. Obama was cowed, absolutely cowed. And I love seeing arrogant people cowed, but it was Count Dracula doing it, so he looks just like a Count Dracula. I mean, folks, dress him up in a black cape with red inside. You got Count Dracula. Come on. He's ready to star right now in movies. Okay, I'm going to shut up right there. Here's the big news. The global meltdown is accelerating. I got a big stack of incredible news. Gold is almost $1,800 an ounce right now. And Turkey, that for 9 months on record has injected more than 50,000 Saudi Arabian, Pakistani, Afghan, and, of course, North African jihadis, Wahhabists, to slaughter Christians, Jews, and Muslim minority groups. I mean, it's on record. They're blowing up the most ancient markets in the world. World heritage sites. They're blowing up churches. They're throwing people off roofs. They're beheading people. They're making fathers car bomb people, or they kill their whole family. They show up, they line your daughters and sons up and your wife, and this is on record. And they said, we're going to kill them if you don't get in that truck and go drive it into the police department. They had 5 bombings yesterday, 3 more suicide bombings today. And our media is like these suicide bombers are heroes. Our media is like they're fighting Assad. I mean, meanwhile, these are family people. The jihadis have victims driving these bombs in. This come out in the news. I mean, this is so immoral, so evil. And they can only do it because the American people cannot find Syria on a map. What is it, 20-something% of Americans have a passport? They've done studies every year with university graduates. Most of them can't find Australia on an unmarked map. They give them world maps with the countries cut out, and they don't show the name. They can't find Australia, folks. Many people don't know their state capital. The government runs Al-Qaeda. To overthrow Libya, to engage in black genocide, to sexually mutilate women, put burqas on their heads, blow up the colleges. Any Muslim country that is truly progressive by, quote, modernizing and empowering its people, the globalists put the Saudis in, and it's over. And I'm not even attacking the Sunnis. It's a radical group of Sunnis that the globalists run, that British intelligence set up 100 years ago. And it's all on record, but people are like, what's Saudi Arabia? I just know brown people are over there, so the TSA's got to grab my wife's breast. I mean, it is so crazy, ladies and gentlemen, that for 5 years, the State Department admits Bush signed an executive order, Obama expanded it. They've had 4 different al-Qaeda groups and a Kurdish group blowing up military bases, blowing up bridges, blowing up power plants, sabotaging dams, machine gunning people at checkpoints, causing riots, mass killings, and now it leads to chemical plants getting blown up, missile bases being blown up, military bases being blown up. They're clearly dropping 2,000-pound bombs out of B-2 bombers on them. If you look at the wreckage, these aren't car bombs, a lot of them. That's in Iran. The war started 5 years ago, and Kurt Nemo and I went and got mainline articles where they admit, well, you know, the war is already on. People keep asking, when's the Iran war going to start? The CFR says it started last fall. Just like I said, they were going into a hot phase. It's a hot phase when they got 50,000 jihadis, according to the Associated Press, out of Turkey alone, massing there at U.S.-controlled bases, infiltrating into the border. So what does the Russians backing the Syrians do? And I'm not for the Russians or the Syrian government. The point is they're being attacked. They're not 1/10 as bad as al-Qaeda. So I'm against this war. I'm against it because it's an offensive, premeditated attack. Just like I'm against, even if your neighbor's not a nice guy, going over and beating him in the head with a lead pipe when he's got his back turned. Assault preemptively without someone aggressing at you is out of control. And Syria, the young Assad has tried to work with the West, just like Gaddafi came and invested all the country's money, let in Western companies, said, I'm against al-Qaeda, I'm against the... They set him up, folks, and stole the Libyan people's money. It's over $60 billion last time I checked. So they double-crossed him. When we get back, we're going to break this down. Folks, the whole Middle East is going up in flames. Right as the world economy melts down, we're going to get into that. All of this on time. What happens when they start collapsing the world currencies and the world reserve currency, the dollar? They start a war as a political diversion. And it's starting to happen. And the average American won't even know there's a war.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Sick of the globalist eugenicist control freaks adding poison to your water and laughing as you get sick and die? Start purifying your water with ProPure. My friends, I've done a lot of research, and the best gravity filter out there, bar none, is ProPure, and it's available discounted at Infowars.com. Its filters are silver impregnated to prevent bacterial growth. There's no priming required. It's NSF 42 certified. Optional fluoride filters can reduce fluoride up to 95%. Easy to set up and use. Doesn't require electricity. Purify water from lakes, streams, ponds, and wells. This filter system leaves in beneficial minerals, which is key. Save money by not buying bottled water and avoid BPA that leaches from the plastic. ProPure is the best gravity-fed filter out there. It's what my family uses. Infowars.com already has the lowest price on ProPure. But if you add the promo code WATER at checkout, you get an additional 10% off at Infowars.com. You can also call to order 888-253-3139.
Aaron Fullen here. As the food police shut down food co-ops, the Amish and small farmers, Americans are losing access, not just to raw milk and homemade cheeses, but to healthy home-crafted sources for fermented foods like sauerkraut, yogurt, and kefir. It seems there's a war on life-giving foods with living enzymes and healthy bacteria. But frankly, I'm not sure what the food police are so afraid of. These remarkable foods have been around since the beginning of history, with archaeological evidence for fermented foods and beverages being found across the globe in almost every culture. Even today, Japanese eat miso, Africans eat fermented porridges, Koreans eat kimchi, and in India, fermented milk is a staple for healthy living. But here's some good news. Self-reliant Americans can now discover the secrets to making these amazing fermented foods legally and privately in their own homes. Since it's still legal to make these foods as long as you can make them yourself. For more information, check out fermentationfactor.com. That's fermentationfactor.com. It's easy to create your own powerful fermented foods, and you can do it by going to www.fermentationfactor.com. That's www.fermentationfactor.com.
If you want an American company with American products made by Americans, here is the Cal Ben Soap Company. Alex and his staff have used these pure soap products for years. These all-natural soaps are made from the highest quality vegetable and coconut oils that are earth-friendly and safe. See them on the web at 5starsoap.com or call 800-340-7091 for a free catalog. Buy the 1 to 2 month sample package and enjoy soaps that are twice as good as what you're using now. Or save big with a 1 to 2 year supply of soaps for all your cleaning needs. This is an amazing deal. You can save thousands of dollars and you will love the way real soap makes you feel. See them on the web at 5starsoap.com or call 800-340-7091 for a free catalog.
The answer to 1984 is 1776. You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
Monday through Friday, 12 noon to 3 p.m. Eastern, we are here. Blasting out across the AM and FM dial from Dallas, Texas to Chicago, Illinois. From Knoxville, Tennessee to Los Angeles, California, we are here. And simulcasting on XM 166 as well as #1 podcast for a radio talk show at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Just go to the listen section and find the live streams, the video streams, and also the podcast as well. Again, thank you so much for joining us on this live edition. Okay, where to start? Because there is so much news and information to get to today. I want to get into economic news here in about 10 minutes. But first off, let me get back into what's happening and just put it in very calm terms. We are told that we should give up all of our rights and and have everything we do be tracked by the NSA illegally because Al-Qaeda is imminently about to murder all of us. We get the official government training manuals, and they say that Homeland Security is really for the American people, gun owners, libertarians, conservatives, landowners, private property holders, but number one, returning veterans. It says they're terrorists. The manuals badmouth Thomas Jefferson and George Washington. Don't believe it, just type in government anti-terror manuals, badmouth founding fathers. You'll get probably 20 different ones. Video clips of them teaching it to police, you name it. The cops nodding their heads. I mean, it's all about authority. The federal God says anything pro-America is bad, anything that you would expect to see in Soviet Russia or Nazi Germany or communist China or communist Cuba, anything authoritarian, it's good and called security. Anything that's basic freedom is called bad and extreme. The new Army manual that for Army intelligence operating domestically that Wired Magazine reported on a few days ago says if you don't trust the government or you think mainline ideologies are a fraud, you are a terrorist. I mean, imagine a movie 50 years ago, a science fiction movie, where in the future in America, children hand scan to buy and sell, cameras watch you in the bathroom. Publicly, there are government documents where they put cancer viruses in the vaccines. And world governments being announced, run by foreign banks. You'd say, man, that'll never happen. That's a crazy movie. And now they're just getting started. So here's the deal. We're told we got to end our freedom for, quote, security, which is really the insecurity of a tyranny, because of Al-Qaeda. And then meanwhile, our so-called government, which brags it's been taken over by foreign banks, the Army and Navy War College, Professor Thomas Barnett on C-SPAN lecturing to the war colleges, says the military works for foreign banks and Wall Street. I mean, it's not debated. They brag everywhere that they've conquered us. They put their boot on our chest, spit in our face, tell us we're slaves, announce world government. And if we say, I don't want to be under your unelected world government, they go, hey, ADL, Southern Poverty Law Center, we got a racist here. Yeah, there's no world government run by banks, and if you say it, you are racist. And if you don't like government health care, you're a racist. Or, I mean, this is what it's come down to now. And they only get away with it because the general public does not know which end is up. Not because they're inherently stupid, but because they've been raised as spectators to just watch TV, entertain themselves. They're decadent. And they've been poisoned, so the IQ's lowered somewhat. But still, they can get it. But they are so lazy, they have a cognitive dissonance, learned helplessness, Stockholm Syndrome, response, normalcy bias, where they attack. When you're like, hey, they're setting checkpoints up down the highway with the TSA that they're not even sworn officers. Plus, it's a 10th Amendment violation of states' rights, and it's a violation of the 4th Amendment, too. It's very dangerous. You know, dangerous third world countries have checkpoints, and they're like, oh, yeah, conspiracy theorist. See, when the TSA has told people on video, you've seen the videos, that when they're being groped, hey, I don't like you grab my genitals. Oh, what's wrong, conspiracy theorist? See, now even having a view and saying, I like red sauce on my linguine instead of cream sauce. Oh, well, we're serving cream sauce, and if you don't like that, you're a conspiracy theorist. See, now having any opinion, you're supposed to just be told what the new reality is, as Karl Rove told the New York Times and Washington Post at a cocktail party. If you never read the quotes, just type in Karl Rove, History's Actors. And it'll give you the full quote, where he says, it doesn't matter what reality is. We'll just tell you what the new reality is day to day, and you will dutifully report on it. Because we control reality now. Is that clear? And you're supposed to sit here and go, okay, so I'm supposed to get my rights up because of Al-Qaeda, but then our government founded Al-Qaeda, runs Al-Qaeda, still runs Al-Qaeda, and is turning Al-Qaeda loose to go in and just murder Muslim minority groups, Christians, Jews, blowing up churches, throwing fathers, Christians off bridges and houses and churches, desecrating churches, desecrating crosses, dressing up in Orthodox priest robes, defecating on the altar, blowing up things, murdering people, and Turkey and, well, they've got jihadi infiltrators out of Iraq that the West is sending in. They're sending them out of Turkey and out of Jordan that they're sending in over into Turkey. And it's all on record. And the Council on Foreign Relations says al-Qaeda is good now. We quote, need al-Qaeda. That was 2 months ago. And they've been attacking for 9 months. And they're blowing up the ancient churches and ancient synagogues and ancient mosques. And they're blowing up the ancient, burning down the ancient giant, oldest grocery store in the world's been blown up, totally blown up and burned, and they're just murdering from all sides, and Turkey is now shelling Syria. And I'm supposed to get behind al-Qaeda because the government now says, you know, that Syria is a bad guy. And al-Qaeda has said they're going to kill all Jews and expel all Christians. And then now I'm anti-Semitic if I don't want them to kill all the Jews. I mean, it's just the doggonedest thing, because the public doesn't know where Syria is. The public doesn't know anything. And we're going to get hurt so bad, folks. The Globalist 12 years ago, it was in Bloomberg and AP, took all the death benefits of U.S. troops from World War III through to today. They've been paying in their whole life to a death benefit. They die, the widow gets nothing. They're now taking private bank accounts everywhere and giving it to mega banks, and courts are ruling they can do it. Folks, we're in trouble. They intend to enforce all this at the barrel of a gun. As Mao Zedong said, political power goes out the barrel of a gun. We've been conquered by foreign, ruthless banks whose ideology is population reduction. Look at these headlines. War with Iran started 5 years ago. Infowars.com. Assault on Syria matches Brookings Institution regime change strategy. Leaked World Bank demographer. Vaccination campaign, part of population reduction policy. And it's all admitted how the vaccines are killing and sterilizing people with their admissions. Oh, look, they're admitting they're killing us with this, and they have Bill Gates admitting it on video, and it's like, oh, sure, that would be on the news if it was true. Is it on the news that your 5-year-old just got diagnosed with cancer? You're 30 years old, you just married a 26-year-old woman, you love her, she just got diagnosed with, colon cancer, breast cancer, brain cancer, which is it? Your 35-year-old husband just got diagnosed with lung cancer, doesn't smoke? Folks, they're murdering us. You think they're just going to murder the Syrians or murder the Iraqis or murder? The whole world is under attack. Soft kill, covert operations. The government ships in drugs on record. It's pure evil. And now they're gearing up to start these big wars. People ask, why are you still on the air then? Because they think you're so stupid this doesn't even matter. But they're not as arrogant as to know if they start rounding everybody up now, it may backfire on them. They want to get big wars and financial collapse in place first and have crime rates explode and society degenerates, so you beg for people to be shut down before they go ahead with it. They want a UN law. You can't criticize anybody or any religion. That's all being promoted right now. So here's the headlines. Turkish artillery strikes on Syria continue for second day. Harats. Oh, Alex, you're fear-mongering. Where are the new wars? I don't know. Libya, Syria, Pakistan, Iran, blowing up whole military bases. Strait of Hormuz, the navies of 20-plus countries all massing. I don't know. I mean, they tell us the recession ended 4 years ago, but every private metric, shadow stats, you name it, says we've been in a depression for 4 years. They're just rioting all over Europe, raiding grocery stores. They've got riots all over the U.S., malls being taken over, gas stations being taken over. Oh, but the media keeps it, quiet, so it's not a big deal. 60,000 dead on the U.S.-Mexico border the last 5 years. Oh, Mexico's not in a depression. It's a nice place. Go vacation. They've learned if they don't call something a war, it's not a war. They don't call something a depression, it's not a depression. They play semantical games with you. You got almost 50 million people on food stamps, over 160 million people on welfare one way or the other. Can you imagine the Great Depression? 49 million people in soup kitchen lines every day? That image? Well, now they just get cards. It's all being launched to bring in the world government, and the world government is being announced right now. Voice of America, Turkey strikes Syria. Turkey authorizes military action in Syria. after a mortar attack that killed civilians. They've got infiltrating, and they're there with the Russian troops. It's confirmed now they killed that Russian general. It's a proxy war. U.S. and NATO and Israeli and Turkish-trained jihadi al-Qaeda people with black al-Qaeda flags, black uniforms. They make up at least half the fighters, are infiltrating the border. And so the Russians and the Syrians are there battling them. And now Syria has got big guns up, lining up. And Turkey has got big guns lined up, firing into Syria. Right now, boom, boom, boom. Oh, that's not a war. Where's the war, Alex? Where is it? You've got to go read Kurt Nemo's article with Alex Jones. I contributed to it. War with Iran started 5 years ago. You've got to go read this. I'll cover it after I get into the debate news and economic news. But it's on. It's on, man. Turkey attempts to trigger war with Syria. Attempts to trigger it? I mean, it's on. They're attacking them. See, now they didn't call Korea a war, so it wasn't a war. Well, we just lose. How many tens of thousands of troops? What did we lose in Korea? It was like 100,000 or something? That's not a war because, hey, Obama's a Peace Prize winner. That attack on Libya, that wasn't a war. 40+ thousand dead, that's not a war. Turkey's prime minister office says Turkish artillery fired on Syria. Firing continues. Assault on Syria matches Brookings Institute regime change. Al-Qaeda responsible for 4 attacks on U.S. embassies in September. But our government runs Al-Qaeda. Meanwhile, they've got admitted attacks, military, you name it, blowing up major buildings every week in Iran, and that's not war. Here's the economic news, and we're going to get more into this with Ted Anderson right now. Weekly job claims edge higher, progress still slight. CNBC, orders to U.S. factories plunge on airplanes, computers. Refinery problems and California gas prices skyrocketing to $4.15. Fed easing. No, it's dollar devaluation and speculation. Fed easing has little impact so far. Fed out of bullets. Portugal announces enormous tax rises. Spain, after tax hikes, revenue tumbles. CNBC, they know when they raise taxes, revenue tumbles. That's the plan. You think California didn't know when they raised taxes 2 years ago wouldn't plunge everything? They want to plunge it. It's economic warfare. Warnings that massive stock market crash is imminent. Michael Snyder, Economic Collapse blog at Infowars.com. U.S. added more debt Monday than there was from 1776 through Pearl Harbor. New privacy fears as Facebook begins selling personal access to companies to boost ailing profits. A rare occurrence in the Saudi currency market tells you that trouble is brewing in the Middle East. Brewing? How about it's exploded? Like you walk in and your teenage daughter, 16-year-old daughter's in bed with 5 guys. You think she might be going a little wild. It's like coming home and your teenage son's got heroin needles jammed in his arm. You think Billy might be in a little trouble. I want to bring Ted Anderson up here. Ted, gold's it's almost gone up to $1,800 today. They're saying quantitative easing's behind that, unlimited quantitative easing, $80+ billion a month given to the private banks. The banks are announcing record profits again off our tax money we've got to pay back. But the media says we're lazy and that taxpayers need to pay more. And Romney said last night, hey, I'm not going to cut a bunch of taxes to Obama. So there you go. If they slash taxes, revenue would explode. Kennedy cut the one tax bracket by 50%, the other tax bracket by 35%. Tax receipts more than doubled. Why can't they do what JFK did, Ted Anderson?
Well, reducing taxes does raise revenue for the government, but it's political suicide. Plus, also, like you, I believe that they're trying to drive this thing right through the floor. It's getting so obvious now, it's not even funny. This morning, when I started looking at gold hit $1,800 an ounce in Europe in the futures market. So far today, the spot price of gold, $1796.20 at its high. I mean, it's melting apart. Mario Draghi, the president of the central bank in Europe, started talking about the $367,000 jobless claim in the United States that was just announced, and the gold prices just started to rise like crazy. Germany right now is considering a gold standard to get away from the United States' inflation. The Right now we're in this QE4 or QE3, and we're just driving the value of our currency right through the floor. The way that they describe it is, here's how they say it. It says gold is money, according to the Dutch bank, says it would go further, however, to argue that it could be characterized as good money as opposed to bad money, which would be represented by many of today's fiat currencies. And then he's talking about good money leaving the countries and disappearing into hordes, while the bad money comes in by the bucketfuls.
Exactly. Translate that, Ted. The elite are buying gold, farmland, firearm stocks, military stocks, and exiting basically everything else, raw material stocks, but exiting everything else while they pump the world with devalued crud because they know what the effect's going to be, hyperinflation.
Oh, absolutely. You can see all the central banks moving into gold, and you can see all the elite. As a matter of fact, George Soros himself has been moving into gold. The people who know what's going on are getting into gold. Then they're telling the general people, the common folk, you stick with the money, stick with the currency, stay away from gold and silver. It's not good for you. It's only good for us. Let me tell you something. We're like sitting on the Titanic, and the captain is saying, "Hey, Mayday, put on a life preserver. We're going down." That's what's happening in the United States.
And the bankers are saying, you don't want to get in that lifeboat. You stay over there. We're getting in it, but you don't get in it. You're like, but you're getting in it. That's a conspiracy theory. Yes, I'm getting in it. Conspiracy. And we just stand and go, okay, conspiracy. Conspiracy.
Aaron Fullen here. As the food police shut down food co-ops, the Amish and small farmers, Americans are losing access, not just to raw milk and homemade cheeses, but to healthy home-crafted sources for fermented foods like sauerkraut, yogurt, and kefir. It seems there's a war on life-giving foods with living enzymes and healthy bacteria. But frankly, I'm not sure what the food police are so afraid of. These remarkable foods have been around since the beginning of history, with archaeological evidence for fermented foods and beverages being found across the globe in almost every culture. Even today, Japanese eat miso, Africans eat fermented porridges, Koreans eat kimchi, and in India, fermented milk is a staple for healthy living. But here's some good news. Self-reliant Americans can now discover the secrets to making these amazing fermented foods legally and privately in their own homes. Since it's still legal to make these foods as long as you can make them yourself. For more information, check out fermentationfactor.com. That's fermentationfactor.com. It's easy to create your own powerful fermented foods, and you can do it by going to www.fermentationfactor.com. That's www.fermentationfactor.com.
Big business has discovered the preparedness market, and that makes it difficult to know where to go and who to trust. MyPatriotSupply.com is owned and operated by patriots just like you, has the best prices on storable food, non-GMO seeds, water filtration devices, home canning equipment, survival and self-reliance books, and more. MyPatriotSupply.com has old-fashioned values and the absolute best customer service in the industry. Look for the deal of the day, unique, affordable survival supplies that fit anyone's budget. Get same-day shipping on all orders and free shipping on orders over $49. Call 866-229-0927, 866-229-0927, or visit MyPatriotSupply.com for emergency preparedness, self-reliance, and food independence. Shop with a name you know and a name you can trust. Before it's time to survive, it's time to prepare. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Don't throw away leftovers. Instead, throw all your leftovers, vegetable peels, eggshells, coffee grounds, pizza crusts, and more into the bokashi. If you love to garden and compost but don't like the hassle of turning a compost bin or the smell, then check out the EM Bokashi Food Waste Recycling System from TerraGanix. Finally, a way to recycle all your food and plant waste safely and effectively and stop using fertilizers. The EM Bokashi Food Waste Recycling System. Rather than decomposition, the Bokashi system uses fermentation to break down waste, so it takes less time to create nutrient-dense humus for crops or gardens with no turning and no obnoxious odors. To learn more and order your Bokashi online, visit TerraGanix.com and click on the orange button. That's TerraGanix.com, spelled TerraGanix.com, or call 866-369-3678. That's 866-369-3678. Recycle all your food wastes in about 6 weeks with the Bokashi Food Waste Recycling System from TerraGanix.com. TerraGanix. Life's getting better.
All right, in the second hour, in the hour coming up, I'm going to play clips of the debates, break that down, take your phone calls. We'll continue with other world news and incredible Big Brother and population reduction, vaccine poisoning news. Big breaking news there. Kurt Nimmo's article is up at Infowars.com. Kurt Nimmo, Alex Jones. War with Iran started 5 years ago, but then it breaks down how the wider hot war is just slowly escalating in front of us. But it's like if you have a gas top stove like I do, and it goes from 1 to 10. 1 is simmer, 10 is on full flame. Yeah, 5 years ago, it was on 1 flame. And then 4 years ago, it was on 3 flames. And then 2 years ago, it was on 5, 6 flames. It's now up to like 7, 8 flames, and they're turning it up. People are like, where's the war? I don't know. Drones bombing everybody, huge proxy wars, Turkey shelling Syria, U.S. troops, they're massed. I've got family in the military all been sent over to the Middle East, told get ready for a huge war. It's already going on, and it's happening right as all Hades breaks loose. Now, I got Ted up here, obviously, with his 30-plus years in gold and silver, 15-plus with Midas Resources. I just bought some gold and silver from Ted just Monday. And I'm not selling the gold. I bought it $300 an ounce, and I'm not selling the silver. I bought it $5 an ounce from Midas Resources 12 years ago. And I know it's a steal at the price I'm getting it, in my view, because I know global devaluation is accelerating. Here's a pitch here. It doesn't really support the network. It's a lost leader, but you can get $2 silver of just a beautiful make. Ted can tell you about that for $72. That's at cost. Ted bought them when they were lower, so that's how I can do that now. With Obama Deception, American Dream film exposing the Federal Reserve and the Rothschilds and Rockefellers, incredible, and Dishonest Money, an amazing book that we also sell for $19.95 at Infowars.com. That's free. 2 films and a book free with the $2 silver. So go check that out at MidasResources.com, or there's a banner on Infowars.com. Ted, I mean, the point is people need to get into gold and silver, in my view. And, I mean, I only promote what I believe in. That's one reason we're so popular, is I promoted things that have been successful, because I do my research. What I do, I tell people to do. I mean, that's win-win-win. That's what a Christian does. But expanding on this, I know that you've sold out of most of the gold and silver you'd bought months ago. So what's the silver and gold at price-wise? I know that's how you pass on these savings to people. For what it is today, and when are your prices going up? And briefly, because we're about to go to break, what are some of the gold and silver super radio specials people can call 800-686-2237 and get?
Well, I mean, obviously, the best deal I have is the one that you described. $72 gets you a book, 2 videos, $2 silver. You're not going to beat that anywhere. I mean, crying out loud, you can't buy the $2 silver for that anymore. Price of silver's gone up to $35 plus an ounce now. So you're just, they're not available. But we do have many other great offers. And right now, presently, you can pick up the Frank coin at $388, the Walking Liberty half. Very affordable. One of my favorites for everyone out there, $17.07. We have the Lakota Nation coin. People still love that. It's at $43. There's just a lot of things. Some of you are very concerned about gold confiscation. It's a controversial issue, I realize. But we carry the $20 Liberties at $21.54. For those of you who like the bullion, which I love as well. Currently, right now, the Canadian Maple Leaf is at $19.57.
I bought buffaloes and pesos, as you know, Ted. Yeah. I like Mexican pesos. It's the most gorgeous coin I've ever seen. But I just bought some buffaloes. And again, those are non-confiscatable under the different rulings, and that's why it's important. You know, Ted, stay there. I want you to explain confiscatable versus non-confiscatable. People are like, oh, come on, they're not going to confiscate again. Oh, really? They confiscated from my great-grandpa in 1933. Of course, he didn't turn it in because he was a Texan and American, but a lot of other sheep did. I want to, but now it's actually starting. We'll be right back.
This is GCN, the Genesis Communications Radio Network.
For thousands of years, silver has been used as both a medicine and a preservative. But not all silver is equal. SilverSol is an amazing new technology that has been clinically shown to be several hundred times more effective than colloid or ionic silvers. It can destroy thousands of times more pathogens than older silver technology. SilverSol resonates at the same frequency as germicidal light used in labs to kill bacteria and viruses, enabling it to kill without direct contact. Silversol is a broad-spectrum microbial that creates no resistance and does not harm beneficial bacteria, making it ideal for daily use. It can be used internally as well as topically and is highly effective against viruses, bacteria, molds, and yeasts. With threats like West Nile virus, colds, flus, or any other emergency situation, arm yourself with Supernatural Silver. Silversol liquid and gel are perfect for on-the-go emergency preparedness and can provide protection at home, school, or work. Go to supernaturalsilver.com and be prepared for any emergency. Remember the promo code AlexSays for 20% off. That's www.supernaturalsilver.com and like us on Facebook.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
All right, coming up, I'm going to give the post-debate breakdown, which is one of the most historical debates we've had in recent history. I mean, it is two globalist puppets, but they are battling each other over the levers of spoils, over the goody goods of looting the American people and bringing us into the New World Order. They are fighting over who can rearrange deck chairs on the proverbial Titanic. So that is coming up, and your phone calls. I'll give the number out in the next segment. But going back to Ted Anderson, Ted, we were getting into a plug here for gold and silver. I mean, I'm surprised. I mean, I know you've sold thousands of them the last few weeks. 2 silver dollars for $72. You can't even buy those in the market for that, with 2 free films and a book. I mean, that's joke level good, Ted. I mean, I feel so good promoting that. How long until you have to go up on that? I know you went up a few weeks ago from 63 to 72. How long, Ted?
Well, I'm going to hold out on this one as long as I can, Alex. It'll probably be sometime this weekend. I'm guessing that gold will hit over $1,800 an ounce here very soon. Silver will be encroaching $40 an ounce. I'm simply not going to be able to sell 2 silver dollars, give away all these other goodies for $72 delivered when the shipping alone is, it's $6.50. I mean, but it does educate the people. It's a great way to get new people started with precious metals. Like you say, it's a loss leader, but I think it's more than a loss leader. I mean, it's always been my intention to educate the people, get people informed, understand the fiat system. That's why it's so geared toward that. Your Obama deception video is great. That book by Joe Plummer, The Dishonest Money, is right on target. I mean, it's just one of those ways for me to get the information out. And so we'll be holding it until this weekend. But if you want to get involved, let me tell you something. At $40 an ounce silver, I'm not going to be able to sell 2 silver dollars for $72. Put in 2 videos and a book. It's just not possible. I would be out of business. I'd be broke, and you'd have to go find it somewhere else. So yeah, no, it's going to have to go up. I'm going to hold it through this weekend for sure. But
800-686-2237. Now, I mean, again, briefly explain to people, Ted, the difference between confiscatable gold and non-confiscatable. I mean, I got the non-confiscatable U.S. Mint stuff just because I know it's so popular and it was so close to melt at the deals you have.
Well, what people don't realize is that the government plays a lot of games. I mean, you can buy a U.S. Gold Eagle and not have to worry about the 60-45 ruling and not have to give up a Social Security number and get a 1099 form when you're selling. On a Krugerrand and a Maple Leaf, you do have to do that. Bags of junk silver, you have to give up the Social Security number, but if you buy Mercury dimes, you don't have to. It's just this crazy game that the United States government plays, trying to influence one over the other and so on and so forth. Confiscation happened in 1933. Anybody that's trying to tell you that it didn't is lying to you. Franklin D. Roosevelt closed the gold window and confiscated gold on a Monday. He got into office on a Friday.
But now we're seeing those coins being confiscated. What are the ones they're grabbing that when they find people with them? The ones from 1933 that are worth millions apiece?
There's another example of confiscation. It brings it right back to date. The 1933 coin was never issued. So somebody had some of those coins, so obviously somehow they got out of the mint. Well, the dummy who had the coins went back to the mint and said, hey, are these authentic? And then they confiscated from the guy. This happened recently. I mean, they confiscated the silver from the people that were trading the Norfed dollars and you know,
it's incredible. 800-686-2237. The brokers there are great guys and ladies that can answer all your questions. But tell them the Alex Jones radio special, that is the absolute secret lost leader stuff. You've got to have that. Not just radio special. Alex Jones Radio is the creme de la creme, wide spectrum of the best deals. You're getting the deals I get when you ask for that, ladies and gentlemen. 800-686-2237 for the lost leaders. All right, thank you so much, Ted Anderson. We'll get more updates with you. Gold surging towards 1,800 an ounce. Sick of the globalist eugenicist control freaks adding poison to your water and laughing as you get sick and die? Start purifying your water with ProPure. My friends, I've done a lot of research, and the best gravity filter out there, bar none, is ProPure, and it's available discounted at Infowars.com. Its filters are silver impregnated to prevent bacterial growth. There's no priming required. It's NSF 42 certified. Optional fluoride filters can reduce fluoride up to 95%. Easy to set up and use. Doesn't require electricity. Purify water from lakes, streams, ponds, and wells. This filter system leaves in beneficial minerals, which is key. Save money by not buying bottled water and avoid BPA that leaches from the plastic. ProPure is the best gravity-fed filter out there. It's what my family uses. Infowars.com already has the lowest price on ProPure. But if you add the promo code WATER at checkout, you get an additional 10% off at Infowars.com. You can also call to order 888-253-3139. Alex Jones here with a message to fellow freedom lovers. The prognosis for the entire planetary economic system runs from bad to worse. The globalist model is to shut down societies and starve patriots out until they acquiesce to the global takeover. That's why we've assembled the most vital and important preparedness items at InfoWarsShop.com. These are items that I did research on, that I personally use. You've got the life straw, so you can turn fetid water into safe water anywhere you go. The K-Tor hand crank generator to charge up key equipment during power outages or out in the field. Strategic Relocation, 3rd edition by Joel Skousen. When Disaster Strikes by Matthew Stein. ThyroSafe, used by Homeland Security to protect yourself during any radiological event. Hand crank shortwave AM/FM radios. Everything that we've researched and found to be the best is available at InfoWarsShop.com, and your purchase makes our InfoWar possible. We're getting prepared. Are you? InfoWarsShop.com.
If you want an American company with American products made by Americans, here is the Cal Ben Soap Company. Alex and his staff have used these pure soap products for years. These all-natural soaps are made from the highest quality vegetable and coconut oils that are earth-friendly and safe. See them on the web at 5starsoap.com or call 800-340-7091 for a free catalog. Buy the 1 to 2 month sample package and enjoy soaps that are twice as good as what you're using now. Or save big with a 1 to 2 year supply of soaps for all your cleaning needs. This is an amazing deal. You can save thousands of dollars and you will love the way real soap makes you feel. See them on the web at 5starsoap.com or call 800-340-7091 for a free catalog.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want to stop tyranny? Well, so does he. Live from the Infowars.com studios, it's Alex Jones.
Oh, yeah. Well, all Hades is breaking loose worldwide. Turkey is now shelling Syria because Syria is attacking the al-Qaeda forces pouring in by the thousands a week. trained by NATO and the United States and Turkey, pouring in, blowing up every church, synagogue, market they can, rocket attacking government buildings. I mean, it is on. Huge escalation in war. That is coming up. Massive news on the TSA police state front. TSA worker steals $500 from traveler as punishment for complaining and admitted it to police. They said, well, they deserve to be robbed. They didn't want to be groped by me. And more TSA agents say, hey, we're all stealing. Some of us up to $1 million a year. Some of them just want your medication or your cash. Others want to, well, your wife was a beauty queen, and you know, Bob wasn't never going to get himself a beauty queen, but he's going to get one now. So that's all coming up. Also, leading World Bank demographer, vaccination campaign is part of population reduction policy. So I'm going to get to that article coming up in the next hour ahead of former governor of New Mexico and Libertarian presidential candidate Gary Johnson coming on. We'll get his take on the debate that he's suing to be let into in the next debates that are coming up. Now, I got a bunch of clips here from last night's debate, and I was walking out of the office last night, and David Ortiz, one of our great reporters, said, you going to watch the debate tonight? And I said, no, I don't watch the debates. I'll read a transcript tomorrow night. I'll probably watch Gilligan's Island with my children if I do watch any TV. That's what we watch, is like Gunsmoke or Gilligan's Island, when we do let them watch TV every once in a while after dinner. But I just said, you know, for some reason I want to watch this. Transcripts, you know, are great, and I watch highlights sometimes and play them here, obviously. I have the crew watching it, so I don't have to. It's like, but the reason I read is I can get it done a lot faster than watching it. And all the propaganda, it's so disgusting, you know, all the canned responses, all of it. But here's my bottom line. Within a minute or two of the debate beginning, you can go to twitter.com/RealAlexJones and notice I said, Obama looks impotent, flat, he's in trouble. I mean, he looked like he was on a couple of Valiums, and the bottom line was he did not like having someone question him, because after 4 years, or almost 4 years, as El Presidente, he's used to everybody stepping and fetching and running around behind him. And the fact that Romney was glaring at him and smiling at him on purpose. I mean, even if you're a confident person, having somebody stare right at you. And Romney's got quite a presence. That whole good boy, sweetie pie act is a total cover. That's a corporate snake right there. You turn your back on him, he'll stick it in. Like my wife called him, he's a charming vampire, Count Dracula. My parents, have the same take on Romney. My kids have the same take. My kids thought that Obama was creepy. They thought Romney was sneaky. But, I mean, that's basically what was happening. Obama was dominated. And Obama basically does not want to be questioned. And Obama cannot stand being questioned because he's a narcissist and an egomaniac. And I was tweeting within minutes, hey, he's losing. This is going to be big. This is going to be a game changer. And people are like, oh, now you're taking partisan sides. No. I mean, if I see a Mack truck run into a Volkswagen and I say, man, that Mack truck crushed that Volkswagen, the Mack truck was barely dented, it's not that I'm for the Mack truck. I'm just reporting on what happened. I'm just reporting on the facts. Now, the Vegas books, I've got some articles on that. The habitual gamblers who have a compulsion to bet all the time, 24/7 on event outcomes, have already spoken via their favorite venture in trade, and initial reaction is unfavorable and is not favorable for the incumbent. That's what Zero Hedge reports. And the bookies are saying that debate did not bode well for El Presidente Obama. So that's what's going on that front right now. This was a total implosion for Obama, and I don't think he can handle it. I don't think he can handle Romney getting in his face like that and laughing at him. You know, I've noticed the TSA and others, whenever they get our videos banned on YouTube or whenever they come after us and other government groups, it's when we make fun of them. When we talk about how they're criminals, they're dangerous, they're evil, they're sinister, they love it. when you laugh at them. And when Romney said, hey, you know, my sons like to repeat things that aren't true over and over again when they were kids, but it doesn't change the facts. Obama got really mad. Lear, who looked like he has Parkinson's, nothing against Parkinson's patients, but was doddering, must be drinking too much Diet Coke or something. You know, it's been linked to that aspartame poisoning. He was doddering up there, and I was timing it partway into it. Obama was just dominating and taking 2-3 minutes more than he was supposed to get, interrupting, you name it. So even though Lair NewsHour, funded by the government, and Romney said he'd get rid of government funding for that, even though there was an obvious bias there, it did not work. And that's why I read at the start of the show scores of L.A. Times, Washington Post, New York Times, Al Gore, Chris Matthews, all saying it was a devastating rout for Obama and he better get back in there and attack. Well, Romney needs to do that too. But again, they're so close to each other. You notice Lair kept saying, now what makes you two different? Because the establishment wants there to look like there's a difference, so you feel like you've actually got a choice here. But just looking at the propaganda spectacle itself, analyzing that, it was a rout par excellence from 3 minutes in. Obama was absolutely, totally folding. Now, let me again just read over some of these headlines so that you can get the gist of this. Palin warns Obama camp will not go down without swinging, will pull something. Yeah, false flag, some kind of staged event. That's in the cards. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but you got to look at it. Tough reviews for Jim Lear as debate moderator. AP. Well, yeah, I mean, he could hardly talk. It continues here. With all of these different headlines dealing with the fact that everybody said that he basically imploded. I've got my stack all screwed up here from the beginning of the broadcast. Thought I'd put these back in order. But here are just some of those headlines that we're going to go over here. I just can't find them. The point is that I read those found them here. It says, video potential worry for Obama campaign. California's watch think Romney won clash with Obama in first debate. That's a group of polls. That's Washington Post, Rasmussen, Gallup, and others. The Hill, Romney lands punches against subdued Obama in first debate. Carville, Mitt Romney came with a chainsaw. Chris Matthews freaks out at Obama. What was he doing? Romney goes on offense, forcing Obama to defend record. Washington Post. Michael Moore to Obama. This is what happens when you pick John Kerry as your debate coach. Philly student told to lose Romney T-shirt in school or get out. Told Romney is KKK. The authoritarianism of these people. First presidential debate, Obama hit with left hook on TV. Politico. Obama can't promises tougher response to Romney in next debate. The Hill. It just goes on and on and on. Romney was able to out Obama. That's Van Jones. New York Times and Cool Hand Barry goes on to say he lost the debate. Just on and on and on. CNN, most watchers say Romney, debate winner. Incumbent debate curse, Barack Obama falls to Mitt Romney, National Journal. So it goes on and on. I mean, I just, there's so many of these, I can't read them all. So even the Democratic Party operatives have to admit he got destroyed because no one buys their bull anymore. I kind of don't like this, that CNN and MSNBC now know they have 1/10 of the audience they had just 5 years ago. They're a joke. Big radio shows in major cities have bigger audiences. It's total illusion. But radio and local news still watches CNN and MSNBC to get the talking points because they think that's the big show. They think that's the big, arbiters of reality. We still cover them. We still respond to them. I mean, they're legends in their own mind. I only cover them to show that they've even realized they can't sit up there and say that Obama won that debate or it was a tie or both got some good shots in. They can't do that because it's game over unless you come into martial law and try to put us in re-education camps, which Obama's told the Army prepare for 3 months ago. Why don't Republicans use the public Army manual under Obama saying prepare Americans for re-education camps? Because then you have to admit the FEMA camps. You have to admit the military-industrial complex. You have to admit the tyranny. You have to admit the NSA spying. You have to admit the NSA criminality. You have to admit the TSA activities. You have to admit I've been right and others have been right. So barring staged terror attacks and martial law takeover, it's not going to work when they put Obama in either. It's not going to work. You could put Obama back in. You could put Romney back in. It's not going to matter. We're going to wake up to Romney. People are going to figure that out, too, as well, that it's that agenda. It's over. You guys can rearrange stuff, pull tricks, pull rabbits out of hats, and it works, but for shorter and shorter periods now. Look at Obama. They billed him as the second coming of Christ. They actually said in the news he was Jesus. Remember that? Now look at him. Okay? It isn't working anymore. People are getting wise despite all the fluoride.
Aaron Fullen here. As the food police shut down food co-ops, the Amish and small farmers, Americans are losing access, not just to raw milk and homemade cheeses, but to healthy home-crafted sources for fermented foods like sauerkraut, yogurt, and kefir. It seems there's a war on life-giving foods with living enzymes and healthy bacteria. But frankly, I'm not sure what the food police are so afraid of. These remarkable foods have been around since the beginning of history, with archaeological evidence for fermented foods and beverages being found across the globe in almost every culture. Even today, Japanese eat miso, Africans eat fermented porridges, Koreans eat kimchi, and in India, fermented milk is a staple for healthy living. But here's some good news. Self-reliant Americans can now discover the secrets to making these amazing fermented foods legally and privately in their own homes. Since it's still legal to make these foods as long as you can make them yourself. For more information, check out fermentationfactor.com. That's fermentationfactor.com. It's easy to create your own powerful fermented foods, and you can do it by going to www.fermentationfactor.com. That's www.fermentationfactor.com.
We all know that Berkey Water Purification Systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey Water Filtration Systems. The Berkey Light Systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light System today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
My name is Frank Bates, and I've got some urgent news for you. Did you know that a solar storm in 1989 caused an enormous blackout in Quebec? Here's the really bad news. Experts are predicting that solar storms will get really severe over the next year, and our electric grid is extremely vulnerable. In fact, the Wall Street Journal reported that we could soon face blackouts lasting weeks or months, leaving major parts of the USA temporarily uninhabitable. Are you prepared for this coming crisis? Watch the video at 123offgrid.com for a simple trick for generating your own off-grid power so that no matter what happens, your home will be a little island of light and warmth, even if it's dark everywhere else. And as a nice little bonus, you'll also slash your power bill. Protect your home by watching the free video at 123offgrid.com. Simply do what the video at 123offgrid.com says, and you'll be more prepared than 98% of people. Go to 123offgrid.com now. 123offgrid.com.
That's what it sounds like when a burglar kicks in the door of a dark house that looks like no one is home. Don't let your home be the next target. Make it look like someone is home watching television with Fake TV. Fake TV is a small electronic device that makes the same light as a real television. So from outside, it looks like someone is home watching TV. Fake TV plugs in just like a lamp on a timer, but is far more convincing to burglars. Fake TV deters burglars, costs far less than an alarm, and is highly recommended by numerous police departments. Use it anytime you're away from home. To order your Fake TV for only $34.95, go to faketv.com or call 1 877-5-FAKE-TV. Each additional Fake TV is only $29.95. So get one for you and one for a loved one for safety, security, and peace of mind for both of you. Call 877-5-FAKE-TV or go to faketv.com. faketv.com, the burglar deterrent.
The Genesis Communications Radio Network proudly presents The Alex Jones Show, because there's a war on for your mind.
All right, coming up in the next segment, I want to hear from you on the debates last night. If you'd like to call in about the widening wars in the Middle East, using al-Qaeda as a proxy, and now Turkey, big NATO ally, shelling Syria, but it's not a war because Obama, he's got a peace prize. The toll-free number to join us here on air today on this Thursday edition is 800-259-9231, 800-259-9231. I'm Alex Jones. The websites are Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. We're streaming video of the radio show at PrisonPlanet.tv. All right, I got a bunch of these clips. Let's start going through them. This is where Romney tells Obama to grab Bowles Simpson, then says why he does not want to raise taxes to not kill jobs. And this is really important because I was tweeting within 5 minutes into the debate, point out that when you raise taxes too high, it actually lowers revenue. This is well known. But again, Romney basically went there, which is the truth. Because there's this idea that raise taxes give more goodies to people. No, raise taxes to shut down your competition because the Fortune 100 is basically exempt from taxes. They want high taxes to shut down their competition, just like they use China to leverage out all their competition. Okay, this is a rigged system. Here it is.
I mean, do you support Simpson Bowles?
I have my own plan. It's not the same as Simpson Bowles, but in my view, the president should have grabbed it. If he wanted to make some adjustments to it, take it, go to Congress, fight for it.
That's what we've done. Made some adjustments to it, and we're putting it forward before Congress right now. A $4 trillion plan.
But you've been president 4 years. You've been president 4 years. Right. You said you cut the deficit in half. It's now 4 years later. We still have $1 trillion deficits. The CBO says we'll have $1 trillion deficit each of the next 4 years. If you're reelected, we'll get to $1 trillion debt. I mean, you have said before you'd cut the deficit in half. And I love this idea of $4 trillion in cuts. You found $4 trillion of ways to reduce or to get closer to a balanced budget, except we still show $1 trillion deficits every year. That doesn't get the job done. Let me come back and say, why is it that I don't want to raise taxes? Why don't I want to raise taxes on people? And actually, you said it back in 2010. You said, look, I'm going to extend the tax policies that we have. Now, I'm not going to raise taxes on anyone, because when the economy is growing slow like this, when we're in recession, you shouldn't raise taxes on anyone. Well, the economy is still growing slow. As a matter of fact, it's growing much more slowly now than when you made that statement. And so if you believe the same thing, you just don't want to raise taxes on people. And the reality is, it's not just wealthy people. You mentioned Donald Trump. It's not just Donald Trump you're taxing.
All right, now let's go to this next clip here. This is where Romney defends giving tax breaks to oil companies if they drill domestically. They make it really hard. And attacks Obama for giving $90 billion to green energy. Now, I don't like the fact that Romney says, I like green energy. Really, you like giving $500 million to one company that builds nothing, another $500 million to another, $90 billion total? I mean, these were pure Chicago mafia wealth transfers. I mean, Obama is just such a snake, folks. He writes the NDAA, his lawyers do. Then he says he's against it, while secretly the letters got brought out saying pass it. Then he says, don't worry, I won't sign it, so opposition couldn't kill it. Then he signs it. Now, remember, the globalists, they want you to think one of these guys is actually running things. It's the lawyers and the handlers. It's just the fact is, Obama puppet can't handle Romney puppet. Let's go ahead and go to this clip dealing with the green energy scams.
So let's go through them one by one. First of all, the Department of Energy has said the tax break for oil companies is $2.8 billion a year. And it's actually an accounting treatment, as you know, that's been in place for 100 years. Now,
it's time to end it.
And in 1 year, you provided $90 billion in breaks to the green energy world. Now, I like green energy as well, but that's about 50 years worth of what oil and gas receives, and you say Exxon and Mobil, actually this $2.8 billion goes largely to small companies, to drilling operators and so forth. But, you know, if we get that tax rate from 35% down to 25%, why, that $2.8 billion is on the table. Of course it's on the table. That's probably not going to survive if you get that rate down to 25%. But don't forget, you put $90 billion, like 50 years worth of breaks into solar and wind, to Solyndra and Fisker and Tesla and everyone. I mean, I had a friend who said, you don't just pick the winners and losers, you pick the losers. All right. So this is not the kind of policy you want to have. You want to get America energy secure.
Sure.
The second topic.
All right, let's continue here. We're going to go to break, come back and play a few more clips, then go to your calls at 800-259-9231. We have loaded phones, but if somebody hangs up, it's your chance to call in. We don't screen calls unless we have a particular guest on a topic. But I do hope to bring up the debate, you know, and not reptoids or something. Now, again, this is soft-soaping it. Romney's calling these tax breaks. There's even more on top of that $90 billion in just free stinking money. Free money. Your tax money to these scumbag globalists. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Aaron Fullen here. As the food police shut down food co-ops, the Amish and small farmers, Americans are losing access, not just to raw milk and homemade cheeses, but to healthy home-crafted sources for fermented foods like sauerkraut, yogurt, and kefir. It seems there's a war on life-giving foods with living enzymes and healthy bacteria. But frankly, I'm not sure what the food police are so afraid of. These remarkable foods have been around since the beginning of history, with archaeological evidence for fermented foods and beverages being found across the globe in almost every culture. Even today, Japanese eat miso, Africans eat fermented porridges, Koreans eat kimchi, and in India, fermented milk is a staple for healthy living. But here's some good news. Self-reliant Americans can now discover the secrets to making these amazing fermented foods legally and privately in their own homes. Since it's still legal to make these foods as long as you can make them yourself. For more information, check out fermentationfactor.com. That's fermentationfactor.com. It's easy to create your own powerful fermented foods, and you can do it by going to www.fermentationfactor.com. That's www.fermentationfactor.com.
The Silver Lungs Generator is the only all-encompassing professional-class product for producing endless colloidal and ionic silver solutions right from the convenience of your home. With recent regulations threatening the sale of silver-based supplements, now you can secure yourself and your family by producing your own silver solutions anywhere, anytime. You can have the peace of mind knowing that you can create endless supply of silver anytime, anywhere, for any application. The Silver Lungs Generator is a one-time purchase that requires no maintenance nor replacement parts for the life of the unit. This product was designed to be an invaluable part of your vital preparations. For a detailed report on the differences between ionic silver, colloidal silver, and what most silver solution manufacturers are producing, please visit our website at www.silverlungs.com for more information on why you should be producing your own silver solutions right from your home forever.
The worst drought in 50 years continues, and the first 6 months of 2012 marks the hottest half year on record. 78% of the Midwest Corn Belt is in drought conditions. Not only corn, but soy, alfalfa, fruits, vegetables, and wheat are all impacted, raising prices. The cost to feed livestock is forcing farmers and ranchers out of business, blowing up your food prices. The only strategy to counter this is to freeze your food cost at today's prices by getting your own supply of foods from eFoods Direct now. As the price of raw ingredients increases, eFoods will have to raise prices too. Now is the time to get your supply. I recently increased my supply from eFoods Direct because we have all known this was coming. You know about their delicious long-term storable foods. The fact is you can eat it any time to save money today. And because it stores for 25 years, you're locking in today's prices and avoiding the rising food cost. Don't wait. Call 800-409-5633 or go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex. Call 800-409-5633 or efoodsdirect.com/Alex. You can bet your life on eFoods Direct.
Destruction of your soul, mind control. It's mind control. Corruption of your thoughts, destruction of your soul.
Okay, we're going to go here in a moment to Romney mocking Obama's comment on moving jobs overseas, getting businesses a tax break. We're going to do that here in just a moment. But first off here, I want to point out that we are selling the 50,000 copies of InfoWars magazine that we have available for sale very, very quickly. And we're going to hold back at least 10,000 for people that are subscribing. And so if you want to get your copies in bulk at cost, they are available right now at InfoWarsStore.com, and you are truly supporting the very front lines in the fight for free speech and liberty. The latest issue exposes the technocracy, the drones, the hunter-killer robots, the plan to take over humanity. I'm going to be breaking down some big breaking news on that front at the start of the next hour. Handmade humans may hold the key to saving the world. They say for the environment, they're going to genetically engineer you. I'm not joking, and it's actually started at San Antonio schools. Wait till you hear this. It's just over the top. It's what forced inoculations are all about. You're already being engineered, folks. So again, InfoWars magazine, you can buy 10 packs up to 100 packs at cost. You talk about something effective to give friends and family. You give them one of these bad boys. But you can get these as low as about $1.50 a piece. 48 pages, full of documents, full of amazing graphics. You know, articles like flu shot gives you the flu, breaking down how it's killing people. Just amazing information within this. QE3 is broken down. I like this right here. It says, the message from both parties is that Americans are disposable. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss. I mean, this is so important to get out to everybody. InfoWarsStore.com. Also, when you're on InfoWarsStore.com, do not forget that we have the high-quality ProPure water filtration at the lowest prices you'll find anywhere. I challenge you to shop and compare. And on top of that, you enter the promo code WATER, all the water filtration systems, from the Life Straw right through to the ProPure, 10% off on the system that my family uses. We've got side-by-side comparisons with the competition. It just blows them away. They've got portable units for in the field or at your restaurant or in your house. Big units, little units, stainless steel. The spigots are stainless steel. The competitors aren't. It's just I found this to be the best, so that's why I promote it and sell it. InfoWarsStore.com or call 888-253-3139, 888-253-3139 to get those. And also don't forget to spread the word about our local AM and FM affiliates. Spread the word about the local station you're listening to. Have you told somebody about the show and the station today? If our 3 million listeners today just tell a few people a week about the show, it's game over, folks. I mean, liberty is rising. Okay, so I've been playing clips from the debate where Obama basically folded like a lawn chair. But again, it's kind of sad that Romney doesn't mean all the stuff he's saying. Because when he actually voted for stuff, it was for abortion, it was for gun control, it was for open borders, it was for carbon taxes, it was for global warming, Al Gore love, it's for police state. But the guy I heard last night, I liked, except for this point, where he's in, because Obama has helped more than anybody pay to move General Motors to China, paid to shut down our power plants, but then China can have 3 new ones a week, coal power plants, paid with incentives. And so when you're informed, it's otherworldly to see Obama up there, because he'd earlier talked about, you want to outsource jobs, you want to have tax incentives to leave the country. And, you know, Romney's talking about lower taxes on small business. That's good, but it's a tax as a tariff, basically, to have China with slave labor. And no environmental standards, no welfare, no workers' comp. As more and more of that is demanded here, the quality of life goes down, the services go down, and the jobs leave. So the new jobs are security guards and things like that. That's the new. We were going to have this great service economy. We don't even have that now. We have a police state minder economy. I drove by the ACL Fest where they're setting it up. I think that's the big music festival they're setting up down by Zilker Park, right? Anyways, I drove by because they had Barton Springs closed this morning, so I went and swam in the river. those yuppies freak out when I'm swimming around in there. So awesome. It's like the rainforest or something. I had hundreds of carp around me and huge catfish and snapping turtles. Wild Kingdom, much better than the Caribbean. Anyways, I'm down there, and it was cops everywhere and park closed, a giant park for security sweeps. And and there were weird security guards standing around disheveled everywhere. Everything's a big security event. You know, they had the army out at the Kite Festival a few months ago. Just the terrorists are everywhere. That's the new economy. So here is Romney mocks Obama's comment on moving jobs overseas, giving businesses a tax break. So here's that clip.
Which is, you said you get a deduction for taking a plant overseas? Look, I've been in business for 25 years. I have no idea what you're talking about. I maybe need to get a new accountant. But the idea that you get a break for shipping jobs overseas is simply not the case. What we do have right now is a setting where I'd like to bring money from overseas back to this country.
That's just pure bull. By the way, Romney went in with hedge funds and took over businesses and chopped them up and sold them off and stole pension funds. I mean, all he can talk about Staples that was already established. I mean, Romney's a bad guy, folks. Supported banker bailouts, you name it. So all I'm saying is that's a load of bull. Let's go ahead and go to Obama snaps at Jim Lehrer. This went on quite a bit, and then he went on like 4 minutes after this. I mean, Obama was hogging the time, and it did not come off as presidential because he had to leave his teleprompter at home while the corporate shark was there fighting over the slop, the government trough that he wants to snuggle his little Goldman Sachs nose down into. But see, Goldman Sachs wins either way. They're bankrolling both guys. The administrations are full of the same people. Let's go to this clip.
Now, the last point I'd make before
2 minutes is up, sir.
No, I think I had 5 seconds before you interrupted me. Was the irony is that we've.
And then it goes on with the counter by Lehrer later, who was actually able to summon up some mental acumen when he says, that's 5 minutes for your 5 seconds. But it was definitely, Lehrer was leaning the entire time towards Obama. That was pretty obvious. Now, here's a clip where Romney, I'll let the clip speak for itself. Here it is.
Look, I got 5 boys. I'm used to people saying something that's not always true, but just keep on repeating it and ultimately hoping I'll believe it. But that is not the case, all right? I will not reduce the taxes paid by high-income Americans. And number 3, I will not, under any circumstances, raise taxes on middle-income families. I will lower taxes on middle-income families. Now, you cite a study. There's 6 other studies that looked at the study you described and say it's completely wrong. I saw a study that came out today that said you're going to raise taxes by $3,000 to $4,000 on middle-income families. There are all these studies out there. But let's get to the bottom line. That is, I want to bring down rates. I want to bring the rates down, at the same time lower deductions and exemptions and credits and so forth, so we keep getting the revenue we need. And you think, well, then why lower the rates? And the reason is because small business pays that individual rate. 54% of America's workers work in businesses that are taxed not at the corporate tax rate, but at the individual tax rate. And if we lower that rate, they will be able to hire more people. For me, this is about jobs.
Right.
This is about getting jobs for the American people.
Yeah. Do you challenge what the governor just said about his?
Okay, so here's the bottom line. Romney won the debate. Unfortunately, you can't believe anything he says. And both guys are bought and paid for by the same interest. It's just same puppet master running both puppets. And, the right hand of the puppet master is a little bit better than the left hand, and it was beating up the left hand, over there. Obama, pun intended, he's left-handed. So all of that is going on. But here's the deal. Romney at least has to give lip service and say he's anti-abortion. And Romney has to defend small business in the free market, where Obama openly attacks it and says, you didn't build that. And if Romney really wanted to win, he'd come out and say, you didn't build America, Mr. President, and small business people and entrepreneurs and inventors and trailblazers, they did. Because, look, government doesn't work at a large level. And sometimes you can have a well-meaning government that can do some good things up front. It always gets infiltrated and taken over and becomes corrupt. 99.9% of the time, literally, government creates a nightmare. Everybody knows that historically. And you sit there and you see Obama and all these socialists. I mean, look, I know Democratic Party supporters. I see them all the time. They are the most neurotic, control freak, chicken-necked, scared people. They're scared of citizens having guns. They love the nanny state. They hate strong men. They don't like the family. I mean, I've been around them. Are there people that could be on the left that, believe in organic food and, not being racist and who are nice folks? Yeah, there are those people. But historically, the people on the left work for the government, they work for the system, and for them, the bigger the system gets, the better their life. They are members of a gang. And you got a bunch of corporate gangsters that now run the government, and they love the useful idiots down there that get a tiny amount of chicken feed. They love making them dependent. They love not having competition. They love government being able to shut down their competition. And that is the secret and the heart and the core to all of this. So I like the fact that Romney got animated. I like the fact that, because, look, when you've got an American president running down business owners and saying you didn't build jack, you got a problem on your hands. Businesses are hard to run, especially a news organization that its main mission is news, not business. But I get distracted by the business end, having to fund things and having to wear that businessman cap. Government literally, government's a joke. You've been around it. You've worked with government. You've had to go get stuff from the government. You've had to go get permits and things. They're a bunch of neurotic weirdos, usually, who are entitled and now call themselves officials and authorities and want to let us know we're keeping you safe from Al-Qaeda that they run. All right, I'm going to take calls for the rest of this hour in about 15 minutes of the next, and I'm getting into sci-fi news. It'll blow you away, and then Gary Johnson's joining us. But right now, let's go to your calls. Again, the toll-free number to join us, 800-259-9231. Let's go to Zach in Tennessee, listening on the free phone app. What is it, iPhone? We got iPhone, Droid, you name it. Zach, you're on the air. Welcome.
Yeah, buddy, this is perfect since Gary Johnson's joined us. But called back in May, and you told me to call into talk show radios. And I've been doing that recently, just a ton, man. I got on one earlier this morning, and every time it's the neocon response. But long story short, I went to Bilderberg with you guys. Crazy to think that was 5 to 6 months ago. And I was in the Washington Times, the Ben Wolfgang article. Do you remember that one?
I do remember seeing that. I remember talking to Wolfgang over the phone. I don't think I met him in person. But do you have a comment? It was nice to meet you. Do you have a comment on the debate or anything?
Yeah, man. I was just going to say, how can we expose these neocon conservative talk show puppets for who they really are, besides just exposing them on their own shows, maybe making a YouTube video that goes viral? Or
yeah, do stuff like that. But I'd call into these neocon shows because they do have big audiences compared to their so-called competition, MSNBC. And you call in and you're like, yeah, Romney absolutely destroyed him. But it was crazy to watch Romney argue against his own record. So do you think if Romney gets in, he'll actually be pro-gun and anti-abortion and against carbon taxes because he supported all that? And because it's important to expose and push these neocons and these fake right-wing talk show hosts more into reality. Because then that won't let the Democrats get as far afield towards tyranny as well. The further the right moves towards the left, which again, that's using a fake paradigm, but that's how they see it, the more they can get their globalist agenda done. I appreciate your call. Let's talk to Martins in Lithuania. I guess he's got back in today. We had first-time callers yesterday. What's your take on the debate?
I want to ask about the economy.
Yeah, unfortunately, sir, I can't understand you. I apologize. If you send us written emails, maybe we can start reading some emails on the air. That'd be a good thing to do, read questions on the air. Rick in California, you're on the air.
Hey, Alex, how's it going?
Good, sir.
Wow, can't believe I'm talking to you. Hey, real quick, I found you guys 5-6 years ago on a $5 bill, and I still have that, and it was awesome. That was a great way.
It's a very effective way. People write Infowars.com on Federal Reserve notes, yes.
I didn't want to watch the debate last night. I turned it on, and in the first minute, I was like, he's squeaming like a little mouse. And it was comical. I could not believe it. We know the bankers are betting on both horses, but it was enjoyable to watch him squirm like the little mouse he is. And
the deal was made to put Obama in 4 years ago. John McCain is a Democratic Party operative placeholder. I mean that's a fact, like Bob Dole. Now he's actually up there on the stage with a corporate globalist piranha that wants his mafia Don job. And so, Obama's actually dealing with a contender now. People say, is it totally rigged that they're behind closed doors together? No, not really. I mean, they're two gangsters that, that want the head job.
I had a quick question for you. Do you think that the fact that Obama wants to draw down our military, is that so that at some point we have to rely on the UN and NATO?
Yes, but I mean, look at that name, draw down, build down. It's like calling the Patriot Act patriotic. They just mislabel everything. Whether you're for a big military or not, calling it a drawdown or a build down is an oxymoron. It's not building something down, is tearing it down. Yes, here's the deal. Over time, they already call our troops when they die in the newspaper NATO troops. NATO is now in Afghanistan, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. That's not Atlantic anything. They said 30 years ago they'd make it the New World Army. So, yes, down the road, they do intend on getting rid of the United States nukes. That's being announced. They do intend on getting rid of everything, and the UN will have it, and no one else will have weapons, and the UN is to be backed by the Chinese. The UN, the top globalist, China will be the new center of the world down the road. That's the plan.
Well, keep doing what you're doing, brother.
Thank you. I'm just trying to survive here like you, brother. Yeah, no, I mean, the CFR admits this. This is their plan. They call this the Chinese century, not for the Chinese people. They're to be fed in a meat grinder. Jeff in Canada, what was your take on the debate?
Good afternoon, Alex. Thank you so much for taking the call. I think your take on Mitt Romney is absolutely brilliant. Count Dracula, for sure. He looks like Count Dracula, 100%. Your friend David Gergen on CNN last night, of course, you and he met some years ago. I'm sure your listening audience knows you and David Gergen are very have met before. He actually was down on Obama surprisingly last night. Usually he's pretty up on Obama.
Everybody was, because he's supposed to win, and he got absolutely, he looked like a spoiled brat throwing a temper tantrum up there.
You know, I guess the line where he used, he said, "You may be entitled to your own home and your own jet or your own plane, but you're not entitled to your own facts." These kind of zingers that Romney was throwing out all night long just continued to stun Obama. He looked like he was in a ring.
Stay there. I want to hear more points. This is the kind of call I want, where you lay out what you thought was important. Yeah, well, no, it's that prosecutorial thing where you throw facts out at somebody. Bam, 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 bam. That's what we do. It's very effective. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Stay there, caller. I'm going to go back to Jeff and then Tish and Alex and Robin and Sharon and others. The worst drought in 50 years continues, and the first 6 months of 2012 marks the hottest half year on record. 78% of the Midwest Corn Belt is in drought conditions. Not only corn, but soy, alfalfa, fruits, vegetables, and wheat are all impacted, raising prices. The cost to feed livestock is forcing farmers and ranchers out of business, blowing up your food prices. The only strategy to counter this is to freeze your food cost at today's prices by getting your own supply of foods from eFoods Direct now. As the price of raw ingredients increases, eFoods will have to raise prices too. Now is the time to get your supply. I recently increased my supply from eFoods Direct because we have all known this was coming. You know about their delicious long-term storable foods. The fact is, you can eat it any time to save money today. And because it stores for 25 years, you're locking in today's prices and avoiding the rising food cost. Don't wait. Call 800-409-5633 or go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex. Call 800-409-5633 or efoodsdirect.com/Alex. You can bet your life on eFoods Direct.
What do you do when your propane runs out and you don't have a large amount of wood for cooking? That's when you need a Grover rocket stove from StockStorage.com. The Grover rocket stove starts easily with any combustible material like junk mail, small twigs, leaves, weeds, or dry sagebrush. Then just add a small amount of kindling wood and you'll be cooking entire meals in minutes. Grover rocket stoves are made right here in the USA and are built to last a lifetime using heavy-duty thick-gauge steel and are painted with high-temp paint to withstand heat. Go to StockStorage.com and see 3 great Grover rocket stoves, stainless steel, heavy duty, or our original Grover rocket stove for only $135 and get free shipping to the lower 48. For phone orders, call 801-361-6984 or go to StockStorage.com. That's 801-361-6984 or StockStorage.com. The original Grover rocket stove minimal wood use cooking stoves, available exclusively from StockStorage.com.
Hello, this is Ty Bollinger, author of the best-selling book, Cancer, Step Outside the Box. I want you to know some very important information. In 1985, President Ronald Reagan requested that Carnivora be sent directly to the White House at a time when only the president could obtain this world-class healer. Now, 27 years later, Carnivora capsules are used around the world to keep people healthy. Now you can protect yourself and your loved ones in this age of superbugs with 17 naturally occurring compounds that instinctively respond to abnormal cells only without harming a single normal cell. If you want to stay healthy, now's your chance to literally wake up your critical immune cells to attack harmful invaders that don't belong in your body. Call 1-866-VENUS-FLY or order from carnivora.com. That's carnivora.com. That's 1-866-836-8735, 1-866-VENUS-FLY, or visit carnivora.com. Protect your immune system. It's the only one you've got.
You look like an angel.
You know, we're living in a science fiction movie. All over the United States, they have Department of Defense AI computers watching the children, including what they eat. And in the future, you're going to be fined if you don't eat all the food. I mean, everything's going to be a total prison. And everywhere you go now, there's regular Army, regular Marines with loaded firearms on the street, including Austin. But here's News 10 out of Columbia, South Carolina. Columbia police prepare for post-game crowd. And right at the end, it says, Fort Jackson Military Police will help with crowd control. Last time I was down at San Antonio Riverwalk, they had Air Force MPs arresting people, citizens. It's totally illegal. They have Marines running DUI checkpoints in the middle of Kansas now, Alabama, California. They're getting everybody ready for total collapse. It's total treason. The military is prepared to go around. They've got a list of people to arrest. That's now been declassified. And take you to a FEMA camp. And a lot of yuppies, they don't even know. They'll think, oh, that's good. My neighbor was taken. Yeah, I salute you. Take my neighbor. Because people are so cowardly. We've got to reach out to the military right now. And they're going to stage terror attacks whenever they go for this and blame it on domestic groups. And at that point, the military's got to know the Patriots didn't blow up your building, okay? The globalists did. You know, the same ones that have killed tens of thousands of U.S. troops in declassified experiments, you know, them, the admitted criminals. We're going to be getting into that in the next hour. Back to your calls. Jeff, finishing your points on the debate, what else were you noticing there with Obama? I mean, he just looked angry that he was being asked any questions. He looked like a spoiled brat, an arrogant president, a guy on a power trip. He looked like Kim Jong-il being asked questions. You don't ask the supreme leader questions.
You know, I agree. You know, and as a black man calling from Canada, I found it almost like watching, to use the old quote-unquote racist standard, of watching the white man school the black man. And I think that kind of imagery, that kind of cosmetic optics in the United States will prompt anyone that had any reservations about Obama to look at Romney a little bit more closely. And again, I understand this is all theatrics.
No. I agree with you. I agree with you at one level that in anything now, white guys are always the bad guy. So it's bad if a white guy does good. I understand that's the hyper psychology that they use to get everybody at their throats in the political correctness. But I guess I wasn't watching it as a white guy, black guy. But I did think about, and today they're saying it's racist in the news to criticize, I saw several articles, Obama. So I mean, it does come down to that point. But I guess when Bill Clinton intimidated George Herbert Walker Bush, that was racist against white people. Because, I mean, Bill Clinton is the first black president, they said. All this identity politics makes me sick. Yeah, there will certainly, some whites, maybe Christians that don't like Mormons, maybe Baptists, they'll probably vote for Romney now because they think, well, he showed that black guy. and then you'll probably have some minorities who were going to vote for Romney who probably will think, well, that's not allowed. He must be racist because he was beating Obama. Anything else, sir?
Yeah, thank you. The right at the beginning of the debate when Romney, you can replay this for your audience in a couple of seconds, but then I hope the next debate you will do it on air, that you will carry this on Prison Planet TV, which is where I'm watching you right now. Great quality, by the way. I hope that you'll carry the debate live and allow your audience to chime in live. Like, because I was watching this on C-SPAN last night, but no matter where I tried to watch this debate, whether it be on C-SPAN or in the mainstream media, libertarians and free-thinking individuals are not permitted. If you try to
no, you're right. Again, it's about reaffirming the Democratic Party, Republican Party, two-headed monster. And you're right. Next time, we'll do a special live Prison Planet stream, and we'll put up the White House feed of it, like Mystery Science Theater, with me and the crew, and we'll throw popcorn at the screen and stuff and do live comments. Absolute genius.
You are listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Sick of the globalist eugenicist control freaks adding poison to your water and laughing as you get sick and die? Start purifying your water with ProPure. My friends, I've done a lot of research, and the best gravity filter out there, bar none, is ProPure, and it's available discounted at Infowars.com. Its filters are silver impregnated to prevent bacterial growth. There's no priming required. It's NSF 42 certified. Optional fluoride filters can reduce fluoride up to 95%. Easy to set up and use. Doesn't require electricity. Purify water from lakes, streams, ponds, and wells. This filter system leaves in beneficial minerals, which is key. Save money by not buying bottled water and avoid BPA that leaches from the plastic. ProPure is the best gravity-fed filter out there. It's what my family uses. Infowars.com already has the lowest price on ProPure. But if you add the promo code WATER at checkout, you get an additional 10% off at Infowars.com. You can also call to order 888-253-3139.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
All right, we are into hour number 3 already. This is going to be a jam-packed hour with presidential candidate for the Libertarians, Gary Johnson, joining us. He's shut out of the debates. We'll get his take on all of it. Your phone call's continuing, and I want to get into some really amazing sci-fi news coming up here in a moment. But right now, let's go back to your calls, getting your take on the so-called debate between the left and right puppet. Last night, the right-wing puppet scored some big points. We're all saved. Because, you know, we'll throw out the establishment candidate and put in another establishment candidate. Tish in California, you're on the air.
Hi, Alex. I just want to say I love you. I pray for you and your whole staff daily, your family, everything. You have changed our lives. I have a 13-year-old. He's been listening to you since he was 10 because I used to homeschool, and a 20-year-old. And I love how after you, like, you'll have someone come on and they'll say something, and then you put it like in layman's terms, because I have a 20-year-old who's Asperger's, but he's like high-functioning Asperger's, but he understands. You could take something so complex, and when you say it, he gets it. And you just don't know. I'm on the InfoWars team with the longevity products, everything. This is like the Alex Jones house over here.
Well, God bless you, ma'am. Well, we're all in this together, so please don't thank me, but I want to thank you. Your words mean a lot to me.
Okay, I didn't watch the debates only because I fully agree with Gerald. It's a political reality show. And also, like a lot of months ago, I don't know how many, but so many months ago, you had said, Obama better watch out because the money that they put behind him last year, they're putting it behind Romney. And I was like, you know what? If they did that, then it's over. And sure enough, as the weeks go by and the months go by, you can just see things in the news where they are turning on Obama. And weren't they prepping for this debate? I mean, it looks like only Romney prepped. And I don't know what they did to poor Obama. He looked like he may have just gotten off a plane or something and just showed up. But
no, I agree. So you didn't watch it, but later saw some clips of it. No. I mean, within minutes, Obama looked totally exhausted, totally disheveled. You could tell he was out of gas. I mean, it's one thing to look physically tired. It's another thing to, you know, just look like he didn't want to be there. And then here's the, here's the hungry dog, Romney, coming at him. So I agree with you. And the whole thing's a distraction to begin with. But if we cover it, we can then bring in new people and show them the propaganda by covering the issue.
You said we could talk about the wars that are going on, but I just wanted to talk about, I watched this show, it's like Mosaic News or something. It's on some channel called Link Channel. But this morning, they showed something. They put up like 5 warnings. Warning, we're about to show something graphic. And it was somewhere in Syria, and they said Al-Qaeda they captured 20 Syrian rebel, or they weren't even rebel. They were Syrian officers.
No, I've seen it, and they shoot them and cut their heads off. There's a bunch of footage like that.
Oh, my goodness. And I was like, but it just hurt my heart because they look just like each other. Just like, I'm mixed. I'm black and white. In LA,
sure, I didn't. I mean, there's a bunch of those clips. Which one? Was it with them hacking their heads off, throwing them off roofs, or shooting them?
No, not yet. I think it was probably before they hacked up it, because they had them all lined up. You could tell they were all shot, and they were walking and they were counting, because, you know, they play the English words at the bottom, and they were going, count them, count them, count them. But the ones that were on the ground, and they look so young. They look like they're 17, 21, 23. And it's just so sad.
Ma'am, are you not patriotic? Our government says Al-Qaeda is now good and is doing a great job attacking Syria, Libya, and Iran. But Al-Qaeda is also bad. You need to give your rights up because of Al-Qaeda. That makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, the government's good.
Total sense. Total sense.
Total sense. Okay, good. Yeah, Al-Qaeda bad, but Al-Qaeda good. All right, we'll be right back. Well, I'm just unpatriotic. I'm against Al-Qaeda. And I know that's extreme. That's not American. That's bad. I admit I'm bad. It's something I'm getting better at doing. We'll be right back. The Anti-Al-Qaeda Show, straight ahead.
For thousands of years, silver has been used as both a medicine and a preservative. But not all silver is equal. SilverSol is an amazing new technology that has been clinically shown to be several hundred times more effective than colloid or ionic silvers. It can destroy thousands of times more pathogens than older silver technology. SilverSol resonates at the same frequency as germicidal light used in labs to kill bacteria and viruses, enabling it to kill without direct contact. SilverSol is a broad-spectrum microbial that creates no resistance and does not harm beneficial bacteria, making it ideal for daily use. It can be used internally as well as topically and is highly effective against viruses, bacteria, molds, and yeasts. With threats like West Nile virus, colds, flus, or any other emergency situation, arm yourself with supernatural silver. SilverSol liquid and gel are perfect for on-the-go emergency preparedness and can provide protection at home, school, or work. Go to supernaturalsilver.com and be prepared for any emergency. Remember the promo code AlexSays for 20% off. That's www.supernaturalsilver.com and like us on Facebook.
If you want an American company with American products made by Americans, here is the Cal Ben Soap Company. Alex and his staff have used these pure soap products for years. These all-natural soaps are made from the highest quality vegetable and coconut oils that are earth-friendly and safe. See them on the web at 5starsoap.com or call 800-340-7091 for a free catalog. Buy the 1 to 2 month sample package and enjoy soaps that are twice as good as what you're using now. Or save big with a 1 to 2 year supply of soaps for all your cleaning needs. This is an amazing deal. You can save thousands of dollars and you will love the way real soap makes you feel. See them on the web at 5starsoap.com or call 800-340-7091 for a free catalog.
The worst drought in 50 years continues, and the first 6 months of 2012 marks the hottest half year on record. 78% of the Midwest Corn Belt is in drought conditions. Not only corn, but soy, alfalfa, fruits, vegetables, and wheat are all impacted, raising prices. The cost to feed livestock is forcing farmers and ranchers out of business, blowing up your food prices. The only strategy to counter this is to freeze your food cost at today's prices by getting your own supply of foods from eFoods Direct now. As the price of raw ingredients increases, eFoods will have to raise prices too. Now is the time to get your supply. I recently increased my supply from eFoods Direct because we have all known this was coming. You know about their delicious long-term storable foods. The fact is, you can eat it any time to save money today. And because it stores for 25 years, you're locking in today's prices and avoiding the rising food cost. Don't wait. Call 800-409-5633 or go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex. Call 800-409-5633 or efoodsdirect.com/Alex. You can bet your life on eFoods Direct. Burning inside. Oh, yeah! Let me at him! Open the gate!
Of the information war, it's Alex Jones.
What we are looking at is good and evil, right and wrong.
A new world order.
A new world order. A new world order. A new world order. A new world order. We're not about to make that same mistake.
From the front lines of the InfoWar, blasting out worldwide, ministry leading us in. Thank you so much for joining us today. Okay, let me blitz through news, then I will go back into your calls. Then presidential candidate on the Libertarian ticket, Gary Johnson, making news in a big way, trying to get into the debates. Will that sabotage Lord Romney? And just like what happened with Ross Perot getting Bill Clinton in? Well, I mean, George Herbert Walker Bush was Mr. World Government, Mr. UN should run everything. I mean, these are globalists in there. They fight over who gets to be in charge, but that's it. I also want to get into a compilation of videos because new videos are coming out of cops beating up quadriplegics and things. And the courts have even been defending them, like beating quadriplegics if they don't follow a police order to stand up and walk. I'm not joking. It's like, well, you should just part the Red Sea. Cop tells you to do something. Next, they're going to say if a cop tells a corpse to get back up and walk around, they can shoot the corpse for not following orders. That is coming up. You think I'm joking? We're going to be getting into that here in just a moment. I think it's reasonable. I think police ought to go to a graveyard and just announce, "Arise, police order!" and just skeletons all pop up out of the ground because the state is God. I shot a video a few days ago when it was raining and I uploaded it last night to YouTube of a double rainbow. It's up at the Alex Jones channel. Also tweeted it out at Real Alex Jones. And, you know, I said, God didn't build that rainbow. Obama and the state did because, you know, government is God. The state is God. And it had about 98% likes on the video, but I did see some Christians saying, how dare you do that? I mean, it's like Pharisees or something. I'm pointing out the state is not God by pointing out how ridiculous it is that they want to be God. So, you know, the Pharisees, they didn't like some other people as well. It's all about how they're high and mighty and you're bad. Okay, well, you need to get out there and do something. I love how critics can always criticize everything I do. But what have you done? What are you doing in the arena? But see, if you can just be a critic of somebody in the arena, that makes you big. Because you explain how it should be done and the way it should be done and everything else. I am now digressing. Excuse me. Let me get to this big news story, and it ties into what we're covering in the second issue of the InfoWars magazine. You can subscribe to at cost at InfoWarsStore.com. I should add the Technocracy, Rise of the Robots, End of Humanity section. Why do I know this? Because hundreds of books, thousands of white papers, statements by the entire Nobel Scientific Laureate roster, from Bertrand Russell to Julian Huxley to Aldous Huxley to Edward Bernays, just all of them, their religion is they are scientific technocrats, in their words, and they're going to create a scientific artificial habitat to take over society with social engineering and chemical engineering and the food and water and biological engineering to make the humans they allowed to live, less than 20% of what's alive now, they're going to phase out and kill the rest. brain-damaged, 4-foot-tall, that's their words, robot, microchip implanted biological androids. And by the way, in my new magazine, half the magazine, 48 pages, is like 5-6 articles on that subject with their quotes and where they said it. I'm talking about owners of the biggest tech companies out there, billionaires. I mean, you better find out about this. Now, I've told you over and over again, they're putting cancer viruses in the vaccines, but not just cancer viruses they've been caught. Just type in cancer viruses and vaccines. Type in polio in vaccines. Type in mycoplasma in vaccines. Type in UN documents, sterilants in vaccines. Type in UN caught sterilizing with vaccines. I mean, it's mainstream news. But it's always just in the news like it's no big deal. Oh, yeah, the government last year shot up 67,000 kids, or of the millions in India shot up, 67,000 got polio and died or are in wheelchairs now. And then it's just a footnote and no big deal. So I'm ranting here. All over the United States, the Department of Defense is paying, free money though, because it's your tax money, it comes from the feds, it's free, as Obama said last night, to put in AI computers in the bathrooms, the classrooms, and the cafeterias. Because tech is so cheap, MIT talks about not just having microchips in all products, RFID soon, the size of grains of sand or smaller, that communicate back and forth through the smart meters that are being put up everywhere. And lamppost nationwide, Homeland Security spending something like $20 billion the last 3 years. Last time I checked, to have microphones and cameras hidden in the streetlights that they now admit are going in the town I live. It's like, oh, big deal, hidden cameras and microphones. I mean, that's what you have in a free society. I mean, after all, it's all beyond crazy. Whether it's Australia, Germany, England, there's a headline, British schools put cameras in bathrooms, lockers, Associated Press. So, 2 years ago, Department of Defense, San Antonio, put cameras in the bathrooms, in the lockers, in the showers. That's in Tennessee, the showers, over the top. And they call people extremists. When parents complain, they go, you're an extremist. It's just, and they're like, ooh, that's a terrorist. I don't like cameras in the 11-year-old girl bathrooms in the one case in Tennessee. And it's all Delphi technique, how they handle it. When everybody freaks out, they go, it's no big deal. The school says it's all right. The board said it was all right. Homeland Security gave us the grant. And there it is, school trainer accused of hiding camera in bathroom. No. It's not okay for the pervs to do it. It's the government does it. But, yeah, that's San Antonio with that down there. But these AI computers hooked into the Department of Defense, they're actually hooked into the NSA Center down in San Antonio, studying them. The computer tracks how much calories are in an apple, how much you eat, and in the future, the parents are going to be fined, just like parents are now being jailed if your child's late to class, if you don't eat all the food. And the federal government says what food you're going to eat. This has all been announced. So here's the Brisbane Times. Handmade humans may hold the key to saving the world. Now, how many times have I told you? They're going to make you so sick with the GMOs, so sick with the cancer viruses and nanotech, that's what engineered viruses really are, that you're going to have to go get gene therapies and things from government to even stay alive. And then they're going to say, we've got to redesign humans to survive in the new environment. So you're going to go to the government and they'll get your sperm and your egg, and then they will create the zygote and re-engineer it. Because that's what Aldous Huxley said in 1932 they would do. And he said in 62 he met with the head bankers and that was the plan by the year 2010. But now we know they're about 10, 15 years behind their own numbers. And he told Berkeley, he said, you can either join us or be destroyed. And he laughed at them in 62 before he died. So that's how I know all this. I mean, he wrote about clones, genetic engineering, 4-foot-tall, gibbering servant minions, brain chips in people, 1932. The entire world we live in is what they planned. And it goes on. Human-induced climate change is one of the biggest problems that we face today. Millions could suffer hunger, water shortages, disease, and coastal flooding because of climate change. The latest scientists suggest there may be near or even beyond the point of no return. He goes on, scientists want not just geoengineering of the Earth and its atmosphere and the plankton, but also humans. And it goes in to say pharmacological meat intolerance, where you won't be able to eat meat. You'll be 4 feet tall, and segregation, sterilization, and genocide. And they go on to say, yeah, the Nazis did it, but we're going to do a better job. It actually says it. Big article. You need to go read it. Okay? I'm going to come back and cover more of this, but let me just continue. There are hundreds of these articles a month, I see. Look at this. The Atlantic magazine. How engineering the human body could combat climate change. From drugs to help you avoid eating meat, to genetically engineered cat-like eyes to reduce the need for lighting. A wild interview. And it goes on. No, this is what folks, they're already engineering you with mutations in the food and water. That's why they're popularizing mutants through things like X-Men and stuff. They've already got hundreds of chimera mammals mixed with humans. It's already all rolling out. Here's the Daily Mail, Planet of the Apes. Save the world by genetically engineering humans to be smaller, suggests NYU philosopher. On and on and on, just hundreds of them. How engineering the human body could combat climate change. I mean, it just goes on and on. Okay, now understand all this. That's why they've got Department of Defense cameras watching your kids. That's why, here's the latest article out on this today that I wanted to go over. Now in Florida, this is going in all over the state. I had it in my stack and had so many of these you can't. They're now putting in the cameras in the lunchroom. Guys, during the break, just reprint me the one about the cameras are on the trash cans, taking video of your face scan to match it and to track how much vegetables are being thrown away for the federal government, same Department of Defense. So just getting kids used to, there's cameras on trash cans because you're going to be taxed on what you throw away. Designing to implode the economy. That's why there'll be no underground economy, because everything's going to be totally tracked. And that's the real reason for all this. So it's going in nationwide, and this is their plan. And in the future, if you're a little bit overweight, they're going to take you from your parents and put you in a government training re-education camp. That's actually already started in Arkansas. So it's all Department of Labor, Department of Commerce, Department of Agriculture, and it's worldwide. The exact same plans are going in nationwide. Okay, that's why they're arresting the Amish, or they're going after everybody. This is a total domestication takeover. A little over a year ago, I began to do a lot of research into why, even though I had a pretty good-sized meal, that I was still starving. And my research led me to a well-known fact that most of the soils that we grow our crops on here in the United States and across the industrialized world are almost completely depleted of almost all of the key minerals and trace elements that our bodies need to rebuild themselves, fight off cancer, and be healthy. I then searched out the best vitamin and mineral company out there and discovered Youngevity. The Youngevity products are designed to give you the real nutrition you need, and once you've got that, you don't have to eat as much to be satisfied. I've lost 37 pounds in 2 months, simply getting the vitamins and minerals I need. Check it out for yourself. It's incredible. Go to InfoWarsTeam.com today and order your first canister of Beyond Tangy Tangerine Complete Multivitamin Mineral Complex Dietary Supplement. That's InfoWarsTeam.com.
We take a lot for granted. Lights, water, even food we eat. But what if these things went away? Would you know how to protect your family in a natural or man-made disaster? Would you know how to survive? When disaster hits, power and water are gone and the mobs go crazy grabbing food off the shelves. You and your family may be waiting in long lines for help. Don't be helpless. Learn the secrets to survival at 123survivalplan.com. Do you know the 37 crucial food items you can't live without? Many people don't have these food items. Learn what you need to hoard at 123survivalplan.com. Recently, over 1 million people have viewed the video at 123survivalplan.com. These survival secrets are vital. The government suggests we maintain an emergency supply of food and water. But do you know the 37 food items that will fly off grocery shelves, or a simple way to treat unsafe drinking water? This information is critical. Find it now on 123survivalplan.com. Don't take your family's safety for granted. Visit 123survivalplan.com. That's 123survivalplan.com.
25 years is reason to celebrate. Cash in on October deals during the 25th anniversary of Emergency Essentials. Going on now, save 26% off clarified butter, 24% off honey oat granola, and save 50% off a kitchen fire extinguisher. A must for any kitchen emergency. Stock your car with a Roadwise Emergency 72-hour kit, only $34.99 at BePrepared.com. New this month, 2 varieties of Mountain House just-in-case buckets. Your favorite Mountain House pouches packed in a convenient bucket. Find a super deal this month only for the Goal Zero Lighthouse LED Lantern and Nomad 7 solar panel. Iosat Potassium Iodide tablets are on sale. And as always, check out the Emergency Essentials group specials now through October 31st. Call 800-999-1863 for exceptional customer service and Emergency Essentials low price guarantee. That's 800-999-1863. The choice is clear. Be unprepared or beprepared.com.
In a coming-apart world, you need something to keep it tied together. That something is Atwood Rope, the highest quality rope made in the USA, from exotic braids for military, rescue, arborists, shipyards, tow line, or boating. Quality rope at affordable prices you and your customers can depend on. Find a dealer or shop online at atwoodrope.net. Enter promo code RADIO to receive 100 feet of 550 paracord free with purchase. Atwood Rope, working to keep the world tied together.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237.
Our story is up at prisonplanet.com and Infowars.com. War with Iran started 5 years ago, and it gets into Syria's mortar attack that killed civilians inside Turkey. Will prove to be the final domino to fall in a coordinated effort to take down both Syria and Iran. It is part of a not-so-covert war started more than 5 years ago, following the invasion of Iraq and the occupation of Afghanistan. It's a very, very important article up there. This is an ongoing war, and people are asking, when will the war start? Now, again, I want to direct listeners to InfoWars magazine, the December issue, because it is so incredibly important that it's filled with the quotes by the globalist of how they're putting stuff in the vaccines, how they're going to dumb us down and get rid of us, how they're going to use drones and ground robots to replace the military so a technocratic elite can control armies without humans saying no to them. Tyrants have scientifically crafted their takeover. Look at this Orlando article right here. It's right here. Lake County considers trash cans at school cafeterias. Officials, not servants, say federal law requires veggies on menu, but students toss them. Oh, well, the answer is you're putting the stupid veggie on the menu, the GMO veggie. That's the big market because they can dump anything on kids. Hey, people won't eat GMOs, give it to the kids. Don't worry, because, well, what's the answer? The kids might throw it away. Well, a Department of Defense camera watching them. And if you don't believe me, I can pull you up the San Antonio Express News articles where they announced Department of Defense running it. It's going in nationwide. Now, look at this article. This is a very powerful article at Infowars.com. Leading World Bank demographer, vaccination campaigns part of population reduction campaign. And then if you read into here, down there, there's a Bill Gates clip at the bottom where he, at TED TV a few years ago, says we need to up vaccines to reduce population. And the only way to lower carbon dioxide is to reduce this, and the graphics humans, down to zero. And everybody laughs. Like, you know, Hillary laughs when she talks about starting new wars. I mean, these are a bunch of sickos that just get off on, I'll never forget the article about Dr. Eric Pianka at UT. He was getting a Texas Academy of Sciences award. There was a 3-minute standing ovation with people falling down and basically crying in rapture when he said we've got to kill 90% of the world population and projected red skulls up on the wall. I mean, it's just amazing to see all of this going on. This is their power trip. We run things. We put things in your water. We put things in your food. We geoengineer and then tell you it isn't going on even though it's declassified. We take troops and nerve gas them and test. We shoot people up with syphilis shots and watch them die for 50 years. We do little creepy things that you don't know about. I mean, go watch it. Go listen to it. Go learn about it. You're under attack. I know the NFL's really cool. But every time I look at my 3 children, I look at my youngest daughter. I mean, when they're little, especially, they're so innocent and so good. And I see the public-like children. They're so innocent on average, so childlike, Arrested Development. And they have no idea the scientific evil all around them and that it's growing every day and trying to take over and suppress goodness and resistance. To know all of this is going on, it is so incredibly frustrating. To know I'm right, to know the enemy thinks we're so stupid. They operate like we can't even see or think or hear or taste or touch or smell. I mean, I don't think of myself as the smartest guy around, and I more and more realize I'm literally light years ahead of most people. I talk to billionaires, executives, media people, and they're always smart, but in certain little ways. They're not general knowledge people. And I don't know what's hard about history. So many other empires have taken over countries or nations and killed everybody to dominate them. The Romans did it. The Israelites did it. The Khmer Rouge did it. I mean, this is something in history. The Aztecs would take over the surrounding tribes and kill everybody until they didn't have anybody else to kill, started killing themselves. Their culture collapsed. Human sacrifices in every culture. These evil strains of people, every race, color, creed, religion throughout history ends up going this way, where psychos get in control. First, decadent people let corrupt get in control. And then corrupt get pushed out by really tough meanies. And then the meanies get pushed out by really vicious control freaks. And then psychos. And then sadistic psychos get in. And then all hell is released. And it's just Satanism, Hellraiser, blood party, black uniforms, fires, death. Let's just genetically engineer everything, murder everybody. I mean, you know, that's what it is. And we're following this historical line, and I'm like, danger, Will Robinson, danger. We need to pull back now. Mayday, mayday, mayday. And so many people are dumbed down and just go, no, I want the power of the state will give me. It's only going to give you power to help destroy everybody, including you.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Aaron Fullen here. As the food police shut down food co-ops, the Amish and small farmers, Americans are losing access, not just to raw milk and homemade cheeses, but to healthy home-crafted sources for fermented foods like sauerkraut, yogurt, and kefir. It seems there's a war on life-giving foods with living enzymes and healthy bacteria. But frankly, I'm not sure what the food police are so afraid of. These remarkable foods have been around since the beginning of history, with archaeological evidence for fermented foods and beverages being found across the globe in almost every culture. Even today, Japanese eat miso, Africans eat fermented porridges, Koreans eat kimchi, and in India, fermented milk is a staple for healthy living. But here's some good news. Self-reliant Americans can now discover the secrets to making these amazing fermented foods legally and privately in their own homes. Since it's still legal to make these foods as long as you can make them yourself. For more information, check out fermentationfactor.com. That's fermentationfactor.com. It's easy to create your own powerful fermented foods, and you can do it by going to www.fermentationfactor.com. That's www.fermentationfactor.com.
The Silver Lungs Generator is the only all-encompassing professional-class product for producing endless colloidal and ionic silver solutions right from the convenience of your home. With recent regulations threatening the sale of silver-based supplements, now you can secure yourself and your family by producing your own silver solutions anywhere, anytime. You can have the peace of mind knowing that you can create endless supply of silver anytime, anywhere, for any application. The Silver Lungs Generator is a one-time purchase that requires no maintenance nor replacement parts for the life of the unit. This product was designed to be an invaluable part of your vital preparations. For a detailed report on the differences between ionic silver, colloidal silver, and what most silver solution manufacturers are producing, please visit our website at www.silverlungs.com for more information on why you should be producing your own silver solutions right from your home forever.
Sick of the globalist, eugenicist, control freaks adding poison to your water and laughing as you get sick and die? Start purifying your water with ProPure. My friends, I've done a lot of research, and the best gravity filter out there, bar none, is ProPure. And it's available discounted at Infowars.com. Its filters are silver impregnated to prevent bacterial growth. There's no priming required. It's NSF 42 certified. Optional fluoride filters can reduce fluoride up to 95%. Easy to set up and use. Doesn't require electricity. Purify water from lakes, streams, ponds, and wells. This filter system leaves in beneficial minerals, which is key. Save money by not buying bottled water and avoid BPA that leaches from the plastic. ProPure is the best gravity-fed filter out there. It's what my family uses. Infowars.com already has the lowest price on ProPure. But if you add the promo code WATER at checkout, you get an additional 10% off at Infowars.com. You can also call to order 888-253-3139.
Defending the Republic from enemies, foreign and domestic. It's Alex Jones.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, and former New Mexico Governor Gary Johnson, presidential candidate on the Libertarian Party ticket, qualified nationwide, is our guest. Obviously, we want to get his take on moves he's making to try to get into the future debates. He tried to get into last night's debate. Love the Libertarian Party or hate it. I tend to really like it because it has the basic ideas of freedom compared to the two-party dictatorship. It's one body, two heads. The twins, as many call them. They don't want to allow other parties or other ideas into the debates. Now, some then argue, well, if you do that, you're going to get a Ross Perot, and that's going to put somebody like Bill Clinton back in. So here to discuss that is Gary Johnson. My issue is, why did people think things were going to get different putting Barack Obama in? And then they thought things would be different, putting Mitt Romney in. They are bought and paid for by the same corporate establishment, the crony capitalist, who are monopoly men and don't want a free society. They want a controlled, top-down, authoritarian system. We've got an article here today, just came out at Infowars.com, military police used for crowd control in South Carolina. And it links to the local news saying, yeah, regular army are on the streets now just to keep you safe. Not a drill, they're here. So what are they getting ready for on that front? On every level, things that were unthinkable 10 years ago, like the NSA warrantlessly wiretapping the American people, it's happening. And joining us is Gary Johnson. Gary, Governor, there's so much to cover here today. Thanks for taking time out in your busy schedule. What's your take on the debate last night? I mean, you obviously wanted to be there, but I guess the two-party system kept you out.
Well, it's amazing to me that the two of them can get up there and argue over who's going to spend more money on Medicare when we should have a raging debate and discussion in this country on how we're going to be able to cut it significantly and still provide an effective safety net. That ought to be the discussion. But the discussion is, who's going to spend more money? And then Romney talking about spending more money on the military, that a balanced budget is important, but he's going to hold Medicare in check and spend more money on the military. That doesn't add up. And of course, more money in the military is continued military intervention that, as you talk about all the time, Alex, and I applaud you for doing so. We have hundreds of millions of enemies to this country that would not exist but for these military interventions. And you elect either one of these guys, we are going to continue to erode our civil liberties. We're going to have a heightened police state at the end of 4 years, regardless of which of these two are elected. We're going to continue to militarily intervene in other countries, and we're going to continue this unsustainable debt and spending. And that's going to result in a monetary collapse, I think, sooner than later, unless we actually grab it by the horn.
Speaking of dependency, have you seen the Obama phone lady, how pitiful it is, saying Obama gave us a phone, he's going to do more, 50 million people on food stamps roughly, half the population dependent on government one way or another, forced to pay into a government system that's been looted. I mean, to see our country built on the real free market, now thinking what made North Korea so horrible or communist Russia so horrible, that's our hope. And like you said, both candidates debating how many goodies they're going to give us. I mean, this country, I don't know if it can survive another 4 years of either one of these, two-party systems, because they're so close to each other.
Well, I know I'm speaking to the choir here, but it is just that. It's making promises. It's absolutely not sustainable. Somehow we believe that the Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, they're all coming. Look, we're burying our head in the sand over this. I think we all understand that it's going to be mutual sacrifice on the part of all of us if we're going to save this country. And saving the country starts with balancing the federal budget. And then back to our military interventions. Wow. I haven't been listening to your show, but I'm sure that you're commenting about Syria, the fact that we are backing the Syrian rebels, and a quarter of the Syrian rebels apparently are Al-Qaeda based?
Yeah, well, I was about to bring that up next, Governor. Actually, some numbers are half of them, but NATO stages them in Turkey, sends them in. They're blowing up churches, blowing up the oldest market in the world, killing people, blowing up churches, as I said. And the media says they're heroes. But then I'm supposed to give my rights up because Al-Qaeda is hiding under the table, and TSA has got to check my wife's underwear to make sure, that something isn't hiding in there. But yeah, then Al-Qaeda, the CFR said 2 months ago, are good guys in Syria.
Iran, I read this last week, has 70% inflation, and that's because of our trade embargo. Well, guess who the Iranian citizens blame for this? They don't blame their government. They blame us. And then you're back, and then then you bring this perspective of, gosh, what if we actually opened up trade with Iran? What effect would that have? Would that be similar to trade with China? Is China really a threat, a military threat, given that they're buying up our debt and they're one of our major trading partners? I would argue that they're not a threat at all because they are a trading partner. And every criticism in the environment that I am in right now, the constant criticism of free markets, when the real criticism is crony capitalism, when the real criticism is corporate welfare, and no politicians understand the difference between corporate welfare and free market.
Governor, I interrupted you when I started ranting about Al-Qaeda. I guess I'm unpatriotic because I don't support them with some people that are pro-war. But it really is Orwellian when Al-Qaeda is our big enemy, but Al-Qaeda is also good. They gave them Libya, now Syria. They're using them to attack Iran. This is on record. The covert war against Iran, as you know, has been raging for a while. But getting back to this, you've now got Turkey shelling Syria. You've got Russians in Syria. You've got proxy wars. A lot of analysts, as you know, sir, are saying this could lead to a huge, wider new world war. Flesh out your take on this geopolitically, because Romney, for one, wants to increase defense spending and sounds like he wants to have a war with Russia or something.
Well, and I'm sure you draw the distinction all the time. We should provide ourselves with a strong national defense, but defense is the operative word. We're anything but defense. We're militarily intervening, and as a result, we have hundreds of millions of enemies that we wouldn't otherwise have. And here, Iran, I swear to you that they're both girding over who's going to pull the trigger first. And I just hope that in the name of re-election, Barack Obama doesn't bomb Iran with that notion in mind before the election. And then now we have Israel really kind of dictating to the United States that here's the actions that we should be taking. You know what? We don't want any countries telling us what we should or shouldn't do, and yet this is what we do constantly, every single day, all across the globe. Is there any wonder that there is this vilification of the United States and our policies?
But isn't it, like you said, the crony capitalist, a handful of big insiders that get banker bailouts and corporate welfare contracts? They're driving the U.S. itself And they don't care if we get the blame because the world isn't sophisticated enough to know we ourselves are puppets of these interests. What would you do to counter, if you got in as president, the monopoly capitalists that are in there?
Well, I am the counter. For as dire as that is, and it is, I'm in the position that I'm the only one in the position to make a difference with this, running for president of the United States. I mean, I'm on the ballot in 47 states, and the District of Columbia were litigated in the other 3. So there are other third-party candidates, but nobody comes close. So doing what we can do. You do what you do every single day. Alex, I'm doing what I can. Perhaps I'm the tip of the spear here with regard to how do you actually fix this as president of the United States. This can be fixed, and it can be fixed every single day. And I base that on my experience as governor. I realize that these are 2 different experiences, vastly different experiences. But I always found that good government was easy. It wasn't hard. It just started with issues, middle was issues, end was issues. It wasn't about politics. It was about issues, and that you could actually dramatically affect.
Yeah, you did do a lot of positive things as governor and get a ton done in New Mexico, and also like record vetoes of both parties' garbage. But let's expand on that. Obviously, you have an antitrust suit against the major parties for monopolizing politics. Imagine the fireworks if you would have been in that debate. Tell us about your suits, where they're going, and what you would have said if you were in the debate. I mean, if you were watching it last night, were there any points where you were chomping at the bit to respond to one of these 2 yahoos?
Oh, I'm chomping at the bit at everything that goes down. I mean, if I would have been on stage, don't bomb Iran. Let's get out of Afghanistan tomorrow, bring the troops home. I believe marriage equality is constitutionally guaranteed. End the drug wars. Legalize marijuana now. I'm the only one that would not have signed the National Defense Authorization Act, allowing for arrest and detainment of U.S. citizens without being charged. I would like to repeal the Patriot Act. These guys support the Patriot Act. You know, they both, with a straight face, talk about a balanced budget, but then the next sentence has to do with increased spending. I promise I'll submit a balanced budget to Congress in the year 2013, and that means taking on the entitlements, Medicaid, Medicare. Social Security really is a problem that is pale in comparison to Medicaid and Medicare. And military spending, the reduction of military spending, taking it down by 43%, taking it back to 2003 spending levels. And then I am advocating abolishing, they talk about jobs, abolish the income tax, abolish corporate tax, eliminate the IRS, take out the IRS.
Now you're talking.
Replace all of that with one federal consumption tax, which I'm going to argue is a template to no taxes over the long term. But and then the Federal Reserve. I'm the only candidate that would sign legislation abolishing the Federal Reserve. Sound money as opposed to not sound money, repealing legal tender laws, allowing for competing currencies.
Let me raise this point. You've said that writing in Ron Paul is a waste of votes. Yeah, no kidding. And I've been a big supporter of Ron Paul for 17 years since he ran for Congress, the second round. I like Rand. I encourage him to run. I've known Rand for 14 years, back when he used to campaign for his dad, 15 years. I guess it's about 97. And I've seen Rand kind of start cozying up more to the Republican establishment, I guess, to try to change him, but I see him changing more. And then I see some of their campaign people writing articles saying, don't criticize Bilderberg. That's conspiracy stuff. Well, Ron Paul has criticized the smoky rooms of Bilderberg. We've got clips of him doing it on this show. So, my concern is I would really expect to see some support, if not from Rand Paul, who wants to run for president later, from Ron Paul for you. Would you like to encourage Ron Paul to try to get you in the debate so you can inject some real issues?
Well, that would be terrific. I'm not expecting it, though. And I'll just point out again, Ron Paul asked me for my endorsement in 2008. I gave it to him. When I dropped out of the Republican primary, I asked everyone that was going to vote for me to vote for Ron Paul. And, on the debate stage, in the debate that I was able to be in, I was asked, who on stage would you pick as your vice presidential candidate? Well, there's only one pick, and that was Ron Paul. And I said that on stage. But I don't think he's going to endorse me, and I'm not asking for it. And I think it has to do with Rand and the fact that, his son is a U.S. senator, and I respect that, but I think that's...
Sure. I mean, I get it. It's just that that's not how Ron Paul's always operated, making backroom deals. So it's a little hurtful. Now, I've got to be honest with you. I'm very torn. I'm normally Governor Johnson, extremely decisive, which they say is a good trade and talk show host. But I go back and forth constantly. I can't stand Obama because of his anti-gun garbage and his globalist anti-sovereignty garbage. And then Mitt Romney, I know Mitt Romney did the opposite of everything he's saying he's for now. I mean, I liked Romney, what he said last night, a lot more than Obama, even though that would have been like a Democrat in the 70s, the stuff Romney was saying. It shows how far we've been pulled towards status, big government collectivism. But then I do think, if Gary Johnson got into the debates, he'd probably take enough votes away from Romney because the collectivists aren't going to vote for you. They have no idea even what time of day it is. They just want their free money. And that might put Obama in. But then I think, well, maybe let things get worse quicker. Maybe if there was 4 more years of Obama, things would get so bad, we'd have a total pendulum swing instead of like Romney staging a pendulum swing, but it isn't real. But then I think, yeah, but who knows what Obama could do? It could be really bad. Maybe Romney would be better. And I just vacillate all over the place. But then I finally think, look, there should be other parties involved. The two parties are corrupt. We've got to get other parties in there and bring competition to this. So I'm going to try to support Gary Johnson getting in the debates.
Well, and I think you're also bringing up the whole wasted vote phenomenon. What's more of a wasted vote than voting for somebody you don't believe in? I ran 2 campaigns for governor where I did not mention my opponent in print, radio, or television. I just think people are hungry to vote for somebody as opposed to the lesser of 2 evils. What did I see last month where Obama ran 82,000 negative ads against Romney last month? I'm sure Romney did the same when it came to Obama. Look, the way we change the system is voting for the person we most believe in. And by doing that, that's how we change things. I think Ross Perot really brought about an awareness of the economy and the debt, and the whole country woke up as a result of Ross Perot's candidacy.
And then his family got death threatened and he stood down. Let's say you got into the debates, you suddenly turbocharged to 35%, you were now going to be the winner in a 3-way race, and they call up and say, Gary, we're going to murder your son, your children, your wife, we're going to cut their heads off if you don't drop out. What would you do?
Well, Alex, I would like to, first of all, I'd like to know a link to what actually went down with Ross Perot. And you probably talk about that all the time, but I don't know what that link is. If that happened, I would be very, very transparent. And this is, Ross Perot was leading in the polls when he stood down. But I who voted for him, I didn't hear a real cognizant explanation of what that was all about. He may have given it, but I didn't hear it.
Yeah, no, he said it. He said it to a few reporters, but it didn't get reported. But in the Dallas papers, but I was in Dallas at the time. No, I was already in Austin at the time, but I remember it being covered barely. He said, my family was threatened. I can't really imitate him well, but my family was threatened, my wife and daughter. I am not. That's it. The Bushes but I mean, the Bushes, he was throwing it to Clinton in a way, so that didn't make sense. Maybe the whole thing was staged. Maybe Ross Perot was working for Clinton.
Well, the difference, though, you're asking me the difference, and the difference, if that happened to me, is I would be about as transparent with that as I possibly could be. I mean...
amazing. Stay there. Let's come back to that with Governor Gary Johnson. Give you his website. You can see the sign behind him. The People's President, Gary Johnson. For more than 6 years, I've talked on the air about creating a social network. PlanetInfoWars.com is in its beta phase. We're just launching it. And I want to invite all of you out there to be in on the ground level. Planet InfoWars is about people coming together, forming activist organizations, getting involved politically, hunting and fishing, gardening, dating. This is a place for people who love freedom to meet and to talk and to write and to post information. And I give you this pledge. We are not going to spy on you and sell your data to the New World Order. PlanetInfoWars.com is free, so people who love freedom can get together, connect with people who are awake, and know what we're facing. Be active, organize, take action, go viral, create, contribute, resist, because resistance is victory. You are victory. It's waiting for you to breathe power into it. PlanetInfoWars.com.
American gardeners and fellow patriots, make the right choice with your money, time, and your family food supply. Choose 100% pure heirloom seeds in the Survival Seed Vault from MyPatriotSupply.com. Why spend more? The Survival Seed Vault from MyPatriotSupply.com is only $37.95 and includes 20 varieties of pure, hardy, easy-to-grow heirloom seeds. Yes, only $37.95. That's 70% less than our competitors. You could buy 3 Survival Seed Vaults for less than one of theirs. The Survival Seed Vault from MyPatriotSupply.com includes detailed planting and seed-saving instructions and ships same day. Plus, all orders over $49 ship free. MyPatriotSupply.com is American-owned by patriots like you, passionate about freedom and preparedness. Call now, 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. Or discover more emergency preparedness items when you order at MyPatriotSupply.com. Choose the original. Choose the Survival Seed Vault at MyPatriotSupply.com.
Hello, this is Ty Bollinger, author of the best-selling book, Cancer, Step Outside the Box. I want you to know some very important information. In 1985, President Ronald Reagan requested that Carnivora be sent directly to the White House at a time when only the president could obtain this world-class healer. Now, 27 years later, Carnivora capsules are used around the world to keep people healthy. Now you can protect yourself and your loved ones in this age of superbugs with 17 naturally occurring compounds that instinctively respond to abnormal cells only without harming a single normal cell. If you want to stay healthy, now's your chance to literally wake up your critical immune cells to attack harmful invaders that don't belong in your body. Call 1-866-VENUS-FLY or order from carnivora.com. That's carnivora.com. That's 1-866-836-8735, 1-866-VENUS-FLY, or visit carnivora.com. Protect your immune system. It's the only one you've got.
We got big exposés tonight on the Nightly News exposing Whole Foods, not as whole as you thought, and a lot more. Just we've got some Obama phone type ladies and men on video here in Austin that are pretty darn powerful. As well, we're going to be having for in the radio tomorrow, Lord willing, and some other surprises. New Mexico governor, former governor Gary Johnson is our guest right now. Finishing up that question, I mean, if you got threatened, if you were, I mean, look, they don't want you in the debate because people want something different. They probably would vote for you. You'd probably become president. That's why the two parties won't let you in.
Exactly right. That's exactly right. Let me point out the obvious. I'm polling at 6%. Let's just say Obama and Romney both are at 45%. Do you hear my name 6 times every time you hear Obama or Romney's name 45 times? No, you hear my name 1 time for every 5,000 times you hear these guys' names. If I was just being given the credit for where I'm at right now, 6 times mentioned for every 45 times you heard Obama's name, I would be the next president. The 6 would go to 11, 18. I'd be at 35.
Amazing. I love the new radio ads I've been hearing all over radio where you basically break down. Well, I mean, repeat what's in that ad to the audience because you're saying, hey, try freedom for 4 years. If you like slavery again, go back to it.
Oh, you're right. If you like what's been happening, you know. Well, first of all, vote Libertarian. Vote Libertarian with me this one time. Give me a chance. And when I say me, I really use that in the context of we. I realize that I am the spokesperson for liberty and freedom right now by default. And it isn't by default. Ron Paul, you know what? When I ran as a Republican, I thought it was going to be hard to marginalize 2 people on stage talking about the same thing. I didn't find myself marginalized. I found myself excluded, and I found Ron Paul to continue to be marginalized. And if the convention, the Republican convention in Tampa, didn't highlight that beyond anything else, the fact he wasn't even allowed to speak, I'm outraged by all of it. That somehow they can sweep this under the rug.
Yeah, I don't think Rand got that just being patted on the head and being given a speaking slot was good enough to sell out the cred so his dad could still just be kept quiet and be MIA, so that Rand could sit around in rooms with Republican leadership and be told, you know, he's a golden boy. I think they're stringing him along. But plus, Paul has been loved because they've never compromised. And so this really puts a dent in something that was Teflon. But I don't want to get off into a bash fest about that.
Right. Here it is. It's now. We need bold leadership now. We need a president that's going to get up every single morning and take on these issues. And that's why I wanted to get elected governor of New Mexico, and that's what I did as governor of New Mexico. You know, it wasn't about politics. The issues that surrounded me when I was governor, you know, the controversies always had to do with the issues. You hear what Johnson said about school choice today? You hear what he has to say about the war on drugs? You know, he's privatizing prisons, which in New Mexico, I can get off on that tangent.
Well, Governor, we're almost out of time. Let me just say this. Regardless, you're out there getting on television, getting on C-SPAN, getting on hundreds of radio shows, letting people know there's an alternative. That's what Ron Paul did, talking about an alternative to the big corporate Borg socialist government system. Tell people about the best website to visit to support you.
Well, it's GaryJohnson2012.com, and a pitch to everybody out there. Waste your vote. Waste your vote on me. Guess what happens? I'm the next president, and I'm going to make everybody a pledge. Nobody will be sorry for it.
All right. Well, we look forward to talking to you again. How's your lawsuit going? Are you going to get the next debate?
Well, we filed another suit in Washington, D.C., so we're out of the first debate. Look, we're doing it. We're fighting it. We're fighting it on antitrust legislation. Republicans and Democrats make up the debate commission. Did you see where 2 sponsors dropped out? Philip.
Hold on. I know you got to go, but let's do 5 more minutes after this 1-minute break. I got to ask about that.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Aaron Fullen here. As the food police shut down food co-ops, the Amish and small farmers, Americans are losing access, not just to raw milk and homemade cheeses, but to healthy home-crafted sources for fermented foods like sauerkraut, yogurt, and kefir. It seems there's a war on life-giving foods with living enzymes and healthy bacteria. But frankly, I'm not sure what the food police are so afraid of. These remarkable foods have been around since the beginning of history, with archaeological evidence for fermented foods and beverages being found across the globe in almost every culture. Even today, Japanese eat miso, Africans eat fermented porridges, Koreans eat kimchi, and in India, fermented milk is a staple for healthy living. But here's some good news. Self-reliant Americans can now discover the secrets to making these amazing fermented foods legally and privately in their own homes. Since it's still legal to make these foods as long as you can make them yourself. For more information, check out fermentationfactor.com. That's fermentationfactor.com. It's easy to create your own powerful fermented foods, and you can do it by going to www.fermentationfactor.com. That's www.fermentationfactor.com.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
To the Central Texas Command Center in the heart of the resistance. You're listening to the Alex Jones Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, in some of the other news here, TSA worker steals $500 from traveler as punishment for complaining. Travelers who display lack of obedience targeted for retaliation. A former TSA worker has pleaded guilty to stealing $500 in cash from a man who complained about the TSA's invasive pat-down procedures, with the TSA agent admitting the theft was a punishment for the man's lack of obedience. And in other news, federal court rules in favor of indefinite detention of U.S. citizens. Obama's emergency stay on NDAA block extended, but that fight is just now heating up. And the TSA is now reinstating approval to film after backlash. Well, I mean, it's the law you can film. Then they said you couldn't. They had to reverse that. That's all up at prisonplanet.com and Infowars.com. I wanted to bring Ted Anderson up. Do we have him? Oh, fantastic. I saw a thumbs up. That's what I thought that meant. Ted, I wanted to get you on here because gold's hit 1,800 in Europe, a few dollars short of that here in the United States. This is a big psychological point. Kurt Nemo wrote 2 days ago that he thought it was going to go above that because some of the numbers, the elite are pouring into gold right now. What's happened with gold today? Quick update. All right, well, hitting us hard. All right, well, no Ted Anderson there for you. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, because he needs to go with Skype audio instead of using the Access unit or whatever he's doing. But it's done. We're not going to do it. Anyways, the point is, ladies and gentlemen, is that currencies are being devalued worldwide right now. And people are rushing into gold and silver. And we've been proven right again that they've done everything they can to suppress it. But despite that, gold and silver are exploding in price. You can give Midas Resources a call if you would like, and ask them about the Alex Jones specials. They have $2 silver for $72. You can't get $2 silver for that. It's a lost leader. And 2 free films and a book. That's 800-686-2237. And I'd say the little bit of capital it creates helps fund Genesis Communications Network. But actually, these lost leaders don't even do that. But gets you into gold and silver. 800-686-2237. 800-686-2237. Again, if they continue to destroy the world economy by design to consolidate it, gold and silver is just going to go to the moon historically if that continues. So again, ladies and gentlemen, I think that now is the time to get into gold and silver. I mean, I think it's been the time for 12 years, and you've seen it go, gold from $300 to $2,000. They drove it back down, back up to $1,800. You've seen silver at less than $5, up to $50, and then back down to $30, and then back up to $40. And I mean, it's just all moving in the long 10, 12-year graph. It's moving up. There's some dips on that line, but over time, it's going up, up, up. So that's the bottom line on that, ladies and gentlemen, that I believe that it's important to get into gold and silver, and the best place to do that is MidasResources.com. And they have the Alex Jones specials link through there with the silver dollars and the 3 free, the 2 films and the book. I mean, that's just beyond insane deal, lost leader. It's about to go up in prices. The gold and silver bullion he's got, prices are reflecting that he bought it a few weeks ago. It will be going up, he said, next week. So on the radio specials, take advantage of all that. 800-686-2237, 800-686-2237. Now, that's it for the live transmission. Some stations carry the first hour re-aired in the fourth hour, because for a while I was doing 4 hours. For about 4 or 5 years I was. But I'll be on the nightly news tonight. But coming up, I break down the debates. I take your calls. Gary Johnson, running for president as Libertarian, comes on, and a lot more. We couldn't do any of this without you. We're not funded by taxpayer money or banker bailouts. We're funded by you supporting Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com and our sponsors like MidasResources.com. Great job to the crew today. As I said, more on the debates. Whole Foods, all of it tonight. Nightly news, 7 o'clock Central. Big breaking news there. Alex Jones here with a message to fellow freedom lovers. The prognosis for the entire planetary economic system runs from bad to worse. The globalist model is to shut down soy, alfalfa, fruits, vegetables, and wheat are all impacted, raising prices. The cost to feed livestock is forcing farmers and ranchers out of business, blowing up your food prices. The only strategy to counter this is to freeze your food cost at today's prices by getting your own supply of foods from eFood.